Lucky Lefty Podcast, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, AdoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And let me tell you something. You're going to drink after this game for good reasons. I have a good feeling. We're going to have another prayer today. We got the prayer list. I got my prayer list left.
Okay.
Every Friday, I'm present my prayer list for what I need God to do in this game. But we're going to get to that and more. Lucky Lefty Podcast, ONORA Whiskey. And if you drink, you make sure that you drink
responsibly.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty Podcast, ONORA boys in the building. Malik'S, ZAIRE, SHAUN Davis. Brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Audio Edibles each and every day. Tongue tied right there. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, the Lucky Legends Podcast, also the Players Only Podcast and Three's Company. Then TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Do that for us. Lucky Lefty Pod Network over on YouTube. Subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up, the like button, and also go ahead and check us out. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. Put your GTB questions in the chat. Super chats, we're waiting for it. Put it in the thread. Predictions coming up. Not only Notre Dame, Miami, Ohio, but also some big games this weekend left. Some rivalries in new settings coming up this weekend. Should be very interesting. Lucky Lefty Podcast, home of the misguided passion, forever committed to making sure. I need a drink of water. What's going on?
Yeah, it's going to get spicy today. It's going to get spicy today.
Forever committed to making sure that we spin it.
Cheers,
friend. What's up, Left? Hey, Left, man, let me tell you something. I had a fantastic day yesterday, bro. I just surprised the missus. Had to go take care of something in the city early, came back, told her to get dressed. She was dressed up. I got dressed up. Took her to the shout out to everyone at the Dawn Eatery. The Dawn Eatery.
The Dawn Eatery.
In Hyde Park. Fantastic menu. I had the biscuit flight. I had the strawberry peppercorn butter spread, and also I had the honey hot honey. And I think
hot honey.
The hot honey.
That's a good flavor combo.
My third spread was the the maple bacon butter.
On the sandwich.
No, this was on their biscuit flight. They do a flight of biscuits, mini biscuits.
Oh, okay. I usually thought flight of mimosas. They got flight of biscuits.
Flight of biscuits with the different butter spreads. They have 6 different butter spreads to choose from. Those are my 3 that I chose.
A hot honey, a bacon jam, or bacon.
Maple bacon.
Strawberry
peppercorn.
Okay.
And a hot honey.
Yeah. For the biscuits.
For the biscuits. Yes. They have a lemon one that I have to try. They have a lemon poppy seed that I have to try next time.
I'm a lemon poppy seed fan. That's underrated.
They have a lemon poppy seed that I have to try next time. Then on top of that, Left, they had the as an appetizer, we had the fried green tomatoes, and also we had the fried chicken skins. So
fried green tomatoes underrated too now.
Like you grew up, so I'm sure like your uncle, your aunts, or somebody had some pork rinds.
They had the pork rinds they was like chips.
Yes,
and then they had the okra.
Imagine something similar to the texture of pork rinds, but it's actual chicken skin fried.
They used to do that with KFC.
With
the chicken skins off the KFC.
With the hot barbecue sauce. My God, today.
That's a good little appetizer.
Ooh.
The green tomatoes are underrated.
Yes. Yes.
Fried green tomato. Man, you got some southern.
Nah, don't stop. I'm like Mike. Don't stop till you get enough. Well, I was like Mike Jack yesterday off the wall, baby. I didn't stop till I got enough. So my entree, it was between. They had the vegan blueberry waffle with the chicken wings. I was thinking about that. But then as I was, browsing the menu, I came across the pot roast and jalapeno cheese grits.
Jalapeno cheese grits.
First of all, they put pot roast with potatoes and carrots on top of jalapeno cheese grits.
See the pot roast with the jalapeno, man. Listen,
ladies and gentlemen,
it's called the Don.
The Dawn, DAWN, the Dawn Eatery in Hyde Park, ladies and gentlemen. If you visit Chicago, it is directly across the street from where the presidential library for Barack Obama is going to be when they finish. Literally across the street. Yeah, it's at You know how you eat at a spot and you try to find a reason to go back. Like I took my wife and I called my mom like, yo, I got to take you. I'm just trying to find a reason to go again.
See, I added it to favorites. It's right here.
Yes, sir.
It's already added to the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man. Look, we might have to come for your number one resource for spots.
Service was amazing. Service was absolutely amazing. Notre Dame fans, if you're flying in and you stop in Chicago on your way to South Bend, stop in Hyde Park, go to the Dawn Eatery. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Absolutely amazing. They have a full bar. They have a full bakery. It is, man. It's amazing, bro. You don't want to miss it, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. Had to shout them out. The owner, he was fantastic. Came by, we chopped it up. The Dawn Eatery. The Dawn Eatery in Hyde Park, Chicago. I think it's 1642 East 56th Street. It's right across the street from the Obama Library and the Museum of Science and Industry. Right there. Absolutely beautiful spot in Hyde Park. Left, as always, is Friday. So Malik'S 3 Keys is brought to you by ONORA Whiskey. It's ONORAWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. Left, your 3 keys as the Hawks, the Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio, invade Notre Dame Stadium to take on the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame, 2:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Former assistant coach at Notre Dame, Chuck Martin, leads his MAC champions, 2023 MAC champions in. What do you expect, and what are your 3 keys to victory? Left? I think Left stepped away for a second. Let's get to a John Massey GTB question. Going to the game next week, favorite South Bend food spots. I'll be honest. I've only been to, I stop by Portillo's darn near every time I go to South Bend. And that's just, I know I'm a Chicago guy, so I'm always going to hit up Portillo's. Always going to hit up Portillo's. There's a couple of bars. I forget the spot Left took me to the last time we were there for Ohio State together. And Left took me to a spot that was pretty cool. When he comes back.
Yes, sorry.
What was the spot? What spot did we go? The bar we went to, because we really tried to watch the game in there, and then it was too much. We were like, nah. It
was Brothers. We tried to go to Brothers.
Yeah,
that was deep. South Bend got new spots popping up, so I gotta refresh my Rolodex of places to go. But Chicago, you can't miss. I can tell you 5 spots right now that I've been to already in Chicago. I think it's fire.
Now, all his spots are going to be B spots. You have to preface that.
Hold
You
on,
know,
no, see, I gotta ask you since you've been
he's still learning the city. He's still learning the city, you know, so he's hitting like B spots, and they're primarily on the north side.
No, wait a minute. I got one in Hyde Park. I got one in Hyde Park.
Left, you know, he didn't check in. He didn't check in the times he came, so he doesn't have a valid card to come to the south side. So you know what I mean?
That's okay. I got some.
By the way, I finally did. We also went and checked out Wolverine and Deadpool last night.
I heard that was a good movie.
It was hilarious. I will say it was hilarious. But the setup for the rest of the movies to come, man, did you see the trailer for Den of Two Thieves, though?
That was really good. That Gerard Butler.
Oh, I was like, okay, they set this up nicely at the end.
They said for January next year. That's a long time.
No, that's good promotion.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a good movie. They're promoting that far out.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, Malik'S 3 Keys brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey. Your 3 keys to victory, left.
3 keys to victory, man. The first key to victory this week is to get the running game activated. I want to see big runs early and often from not just one, not just two, but 3 running backs. I think we can have 3 running backs with 100 yards. I wouldn't say that's the key to victory, but if we get that, there's no way we're losing. So if we can get Aeneas Williams involved, Devin Ford may be involved, we need a 3rd running back to make an impact, because I just don't think we can live having Riley in the top 2 rushing stats every game. So it would be nice to substitute some of his running efforts by digging deeper in that running back room and finding guys that can make a play. Now, obviously, the running is the only thing Riley has shown he can do so far. But with a game like this, let your hair down. Be able to put on the red jersey in your mind, Riley, and force yourself to get other parts of your game activated, because this is a game where Miami's defense is not going to be the stopping factor to us scoring points. It's going to be us, versus us. So if we're not executing and hitting the open passes and running the plays the right way, then it's going to make Miami look a little tougher. But if anything, we should treat them like cone drills. And that's no disrespect to Coach Martin and what he's doing, but they haven't won a game, and they're not the team of last year, and they got things they're dealing with. But this is about us this week, so it will be nicer to have lesser competing rushing stats with our top draftable running back at quarterback. Substitute some more passing in there. So that's why I would say 3 running backs with 100 yards is a first key to victory. The second key.
Did you say 3 running backs with 100?
Yeah.
Come on, left boy.
What's wrong with that?
Come on, 3.
Well, Jadarian had what? 75.
Can we just
Riley had like 120.
Oh, so now you're being disrespectful, because now I see what you're doing. Go ahead, left.
No.
I knew the pettiness. I was searching to see if the pettiness was in there. But go ahead, left. No. I understand what you're saying now. You adding Riley Leonard, you calling him a running back. I get it. Go ahead, left. Go ahead, left. You petty, man. You petty. Go ahead, man.
This is not being petty. This is being realistic. I said Riley. Okay. Riley should put on the red jersey in his mind.
Okay, man.
Put the red jersey on in your mind this game. Okay. Let the running backs do the running back job. I don't want to see every game you having 150 rushing yards but no passing.
Okay.
I don't want you to be competing with Jeremiah Love for carries. That's not what I want to see.
Okay.
It would be nice, though, if you give some of that up to an Aeneas Williams, Jadarian, get more carries. Now obviously it's a part of your game. It's a part of your game. It's been the stabilizing factor, because other than that, what have you done if it hasn't been that? So this will be a game to work on the other aspects of the offense, because remember, this defense isn't the Alabama defense or Georgia defense we're facing where they're taking things away and we have to game plan and scheme. This is about us. So in his mind, he should say, I have the red jersey on. and I need to work on my passing. So let the running backs be the running backs, and he work on the quarterback game and get some passing yards, which is my second point, which is also a little bit based off of last year. Let's get a 100-yard receiver. I said 2. I'm gonna just take it to 1. We can get 100. We have 9 good receivers. If one of them can have 100 yards, I think that's a great thing to have moving forward, because we can show another part of our offense. If a guy's 100 yards, that means somebody's cooking in that receiver room, and maybe that can be the go-to guy when we do need to have more of a passing presence. So let's see if we can aim for that this week, Riley. 100 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns. We got to get at least better stats than individual receivers in college football. So the third key, I would love to see special teams come alive. Let's get a special teams touchdown. That hasn't been a focus in a while. I think Jadarian was the last one, kick return touchdown, but let's see if we can get a punt return or a kick return touchdown. I think that'll be a key to the game, because all 3 phases of the game need to be activated, and I think that we'll have that under these circumstances. It's another opportunity to be at home. All guys should be comfortable, and we should be firing at all cylinders.
Is there anything in particular that you think you need to see? Because we're going to hear from Marty Biaggi later on in the show. But is there anything in particular that you need to see from the standpoint of the punting game, an improvement as far as that kicking game?
Obviously, with them saying so much about what he can do, let's see if he can do anything in that regard this week. Let's see if we can get a hang time that's top in the country. Let's see if we can get the end over end or the spinning punts that Coach Marcus Freeman was talking about in the press conference. And with that, hopefully that turns into flipping the field, getting some punts within the 5. They're tangible goals that you can have in a punting game. And what we've been doing before is, I think, been doing too much. How can we at least do something that he's good at to show that all the things Marcus Freeman is talking about is true?
Yeah, I think one of the things also you pointed out, the talent disparity is one thing, but I do think you're still facing a team that I don't think is going to be broken quite yet. Chuck Martin is going to have that team ready to play.
Naturally, Notre Dame is going to give you the feeling that you play harder. Or whatever's in the air. When you come to South Bend, you're going to get a little bit more of a edge to play, maybe a boost. But that shouldn't carry to the weight of where it's overtaking us and overwhelming us. We should use some of that same boost to have a performance that we should have in these type of situations. But Miami knows what they're going up against. They probably feel like they have an easier route to get there, considering they've seen it happen within the other teams within the conference. So that mental edge they'll probably be riding in on, but at the same time, they also watched that last week's film. And we shouldn't be the team in week 2 that we were in week 3. So hopefully that provides a little intimidation for guys, because hell, when's the last time we ever intimidated a team?
Woo. Man, that's a good point. We might have to get to that during one of these players' pressers and what they said. That's a good point. Bookmark that, Lucky Lefty fans. We're giving away 5 T-shirts today. We're men of our word. 5 T-shirts, right?
Yeah. We definitely men of our word.
We have to find a creative way. Right? So
we got to do some trivia. We're going to just get some trivia.
So either via Twitter, which is at Lucky Lefty Pod, or our Instagram, you need to hit us up and give us your game prediction.
Yes, the closest. Yeah, I like that. Closest one.
Game predictions. We'll get, because we were trying to come up with creative ways, bro. Like, yo.
Well, hell, we didn't think it was gonna happen. That's what it was.
We really didn't. We were definitely unprepared. Like, there's no way we're giving away five T-shirts next week, and like 35 points from this offense. After that Northern Illinois game, nope.
That's right. That's right.
And next thing you know, we're like, we have to figure a way how to, creatively create a contest by which we can select the 5 winners, right?
Yes.
So we're going to do 2 things. The next 5 patrons over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network get a t-shirt.
And we handwrite a letter. And we're going to handwrite a letter for you. Just a little thank you. My grandma always told me thank you cards go a long way. It's just like how people been losing recipes, grandma's recipes. People been losing grandma's etiquette and sending thank you cards, because thank you cards, everybody likes to get a little bit in the mail. A little handwritten, recruiting got some of that grandma sauce in there too. They write you a hand letter from the head coach, Marcus Freeman, write you a little note. It goes a long way with recruits, and it's no different with thank you cards for joining such a great podcast, man. Podcast community. It's a podcast community here.
So here we go. The next 5 patrons that join up at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network get free t-shirts. Anybody that signs up, you already get Malik'S cookbook. If you sign up over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, Lucky Legends podcast players only, and Three's Company. Today, give us your game predictions, either in the chat, you can tweet them, you can hit us up on Instagram, heck, Facebook, the Lucky Lefty Podcast Facebook page. Send us a message with your prediction, score prediction for the game. We got to make it tricky though, Left. Not only a score prediction, but give us the leading receiver in receiving yards. Game prediction and leading receiver.
And Brock was just talking about KK Smith look like Will Fuller.
Whoever gets the closest. See, we have to have the tiebreaker, right? So the leading receiver is the tiebreaker. So if we have a tie for the game predictions, the closest, then we have to go to the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker will be most receiving yards by a wide receiver. Most receiving yards by a wide receiver. Left, should we be nice and include the tight ends?
That'd be too easy.
Okay. So the tiebreaker will be most receiving yards by a Notre Dame wide receiver against Miami, Ohio on Saturday.
That's one of the hardest questions you can answer.
Yeah.
That's no different than picking get that jar of jelly beans and guess how many's in it.
Yeah. So tweet at us at Lucky Lefty Pod, your game prediction, and who will have the most receiving yards from the wide receiver room. All right. Now we have to rename a segment because there was a lot of response to this post-snap read on Monday. So now we're going to do the pre-snap read. Instead of Left's clean sheet, we changed the name of this segment to Malik'S pre-snap right here, where he talks about how Mike Denbrock is going to attack this Red Hawks defense on Saturday, coming out of the gate. Brought to you by ONORA Risky. This is Malik'S pre-snap read. Left, what you got for us?
I would say Denbrock has to go right away to giving the ball to your best players. Give it to a Chris Mitchell early in some screens and some bubbles. Give it to a couple goal shots to Bo Collins on the outside. Because if anything, this is a game where you not experiment, but you try things that you usually wouldn't in a game that's more competitive. I think we'll have the run game be there early, but mix in some of those different things that Riley can make his game better with by throwing the ball down the field, taking more shots, maybe not getting 30 pass attempts, but the attempts that he does have, let it be downfield and let it be easy throws to guys that we want to see. A Jaden Grayhouse. We want to see, Jaden Thomas. He was making a couple plays. I think you got Jordan Faison coming back. So all these guys that are thirsty for the football, it would be nice to see Riley have a game in the 250 range because we have the talent around him to do that with. It's not like we're on, 2s and 3s and backups for a receiver. We got a quality group. I know Mike Brown wants to see his group flourish, and they're going to be ready for the opportunity. We talked about it earlier. Guys are hungry. So let them get fed throughout the game. But establishing the run is something that should be early. You got to give Jeremiah Love the ball. He's going to kick things off with big plays, exciting plays. Hopefully, it gets Riley in the Christmas spirit to start giving gifts on the outside. I mean, start being a Notre Dame quarterback. I mean, this is not a game where you're racking your brain with a bunch of pressure, or you're thinking that this is going to be something that can slip you up with. This is a game that we should win, and a game you should use as a confidence booster because you're playing in the environment that's favorable for you. And you also have a lot to make up for considering the appearance that you had last time at home. So there's a lot of motivating factors in this game that may or may not even need to be said, but still, your whole mission is to maximize the resources that you have and get off the field by the middle of the third quarter and let these other guys play. So that would be the goal in my mind, is to score fast, early and often, get as many big plays that you can get in there because they're going to be there, and be the team that we saw last week. But let's clean up some of the things that we had from last week. We didn't have any passing touchdowns from our starting offense. We need to do a better job of that. Do a better job of not having these armchair quarterbacks sending in all types of putting all types of plays up on the internet saying that we need to be doing this and that and the third. It reminds me of Romo Duze's dad putting up Rome being open. The second game of the
See, that's corny to me. I'm sorry, bro.
It is corny. It is corny.
Man, don't be doing that. Well, dude, if you can't take criticism as a parent, dude, from people that cover the team, unless they're calling your son out of his name, if they're critiquing the play and they have a point of view,
it's a point of view.
It's a point of view, man. It's a point of view. It just is. And but using social media, bro.
Oh man, that's why I'm like, come on, dog. You better than this, Maybe he was screaming that they should have got Penix or something. Who knows?
It's crazy.
But the one thing we can't do is almost score less than 50, in my opinion. Like, we can't go into this game and not think 50's on the scoreboard by the end of it. Because this is not a game where we're just pacifying and we love Coach Martin. He used to be here. We try to take it easy. No, we already showed we can do 66 at an away team and could have did more. That's what I said. There's no excuses this season because we already showed and let the cat out of the bag that we can really do some damage on that scoreboard from many different ways. So we can't take a step back by scoring less than 50 in a game where, in my opinion, the better team was Purdue. Purdue is a better team than what we have this week. Miami's still yet to win a game. So, in my opinion, being at home, 50 is the floor. Is the floor. Because we already saw what we can do at away teams, and we should be better at home than away.
I want to get to that in a little bit left, but that's Malik's 3 keys and also Malik's pre-snap read every Friday right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast. So, Left, Notre Dame players met with the media this week. I'm also going to play a clip because you brought it up. You talked about special teams and needing special teams to step up in all 3 areas. And, of course, Marty Biaggi was asked about the punting situation. And this is what Coach Biaggi had to say about that and how they're going forward to get James Rendell locked in.
I think more than anything, it's a lot of the time of just really trying to figure out what his process, what he's thinking about, when he's going on the field, and really just trying to make it as consistent as we can from what did you do in that practice rep, you've shown you can do it over and over again, to then it being natural. It's something that just getting used to playing. He's got to, get in that stadium and feel it more and more. Again, had a good day today, but it's gotta show up and translate.
Well, at least he's having a good day at practice, because Marcus Freeman really was honest, I guess, because he talked about not being happy with the punting situation during fall camp. And now, we're hearing that James Riddell is having better practices. Of course, I guess they were asking him to do all these different types of punts because he has those in the tool bag, right? In his tool belt. But now, can we just get him to consistently punt? Just
consistent. We just want something consistent. We not really. We don't need all the tricks and all that. Just give us something we can flip the field and pin some guys down so we can make our defense job easier. Because I mean, we sometimes we get too cute out there, man. We don't need all that.
There's nothing wrong with being cute, bro. If you're a female.
We get too cute with the play calling, man. We want to be a next level 4D chess playing. Like we take that academics real serious across all boards at Notre Dame.
I mean, how cute can you get though? Right now,
offensively, no. Defensively, you can get cute. You can do some things. Special teams. I feel like they had a lot more trust in the Australian than they should have. No, I shouldn't say that.
There you go, man. Let me tell you, Malik can never go into politics. He can never deal with other foreign leaders. He can never be an ambassador of any type. We
can deal with foreign leaders that's not trying to run over here. If they're not trying to run what's going on over here, we can deal with foreign leaders. But you got Canadians and Australians trying to run this.
He doesn't like Canadian football players.
I like Canadian football players. We just know there's a difference in a mentality when you coming from somewhere else and into a sport where, we taught y'all how to do it. So it's like, how you going to teach us how to do something? You know what I mean?
Left, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so perfect example. Would you let an Australian come in your house and make soul food for you? All right then. Because you just like, wait a minute, how you gonna tell me how to fry chicken?
All right, Lefty, you have to clarify, bro. You have to clarify because I don't.
Will somebody from Australia come to your house and teach you how to make soul food? You'll be like, I'm pretty sure I would know more than you about making soul food because you just ain't got that. You just ain't. Even if you follow the ingredients to a T, there's something about you knowing how to make soul food because because you wouldn't go to Australia and make a meat pie and talk about this the best meat pie ever. Because that's not Chicago.
So basically, allow James Riddell to do his thing and stop asking him to do. I'm trying to jump in the Uber with you, bro. I promise you, I'm trying to jump in the Uber with you.
Follow what we have a role for. Let's not just say, because he's Australian, let's start rugby kicking. When did we even get that idea? We've never been a rugby style kicking team ever.
That's true.
When we start pulling that out the hat, because he's Australian. See, you see where the connect comes in? You see what I'm talking about?
You reached a little bit for that one. You reached a little bit. Your food analogies are usually spot on, but you reached a little bit.
The meat pie? You ain't gonna make no meat pie and say you an Australian, Sean.
Yeah, the soul food, Australian soul food thing. You kind of, you know what I mean? Okay, so who you rather fry chicken for, you Koreans or black people? See, we taught Koreans how to fry chicken. Now they make some good fried chicken though. What is going on? Right?
Seriously. Man, listen, we taught Koreans how to fry chicken. That's a fact. But Koreans know how to fry some good chicken. I'm just saying. There's a good Korean fried chicken spot down there.
This is going to sound crazy, but definitely, if you can't go to the soul food spots, if you do have a Cantonese spot,
I'm telling you,
in the neighborhood, that is a decent substitute for fried chicken in the south side of Chicago. I can testify to that.
That's what I'm saying.
It used to man. My father used to do that. We used to go to this spot in Roseland as a shorty, and we would always go after my little league games, and he would get chicken wings, and I would always be like, why are you getting chicken wings from the Cantonese spot? But yeah. All right, Left. You cleaned it up a little bit.
Listen, it may sound crazy when you think about it. You got to think about it.
No, it definitely sounded crazy for a minute. It definitely sounded crazy for a minute. I didn't want to jump in the Uber with you for a minute, but okay.
It's true, man.
Okay.
Because some things are more authentic in other places, you know.
Now, this is a great question. Because both of us cook. Both of us cook. So what would people be? What do you cook that people would not believe that you cook? They would actually be surprised. Like, oh, you cooked that?
Quiche.
Breakfast
really? Quiche. Yeah, a little spinach egg, little bacon bite quiche. Yeah.
Quiche, bro?
It's good.
You make quiches?
Yeah, you little square, you know. It's a bougie thing. Don't even, you know.
Yes, it's very, very. It doesn't come across as very dating at all.
You wouldn't expect it, you know. I'm not a charcuterie guy, but I'll take some quiches. Little pigs in a blanket, little smoked pig in a blanket. Man, listen, I've been to a couple events. You know, I've been to a couple networking events with the little finger foods. I done seen some stuff.
I make a mean Waldorf salad, bro.
Oh, that's the one with the cranberries and almonds and stuff?
With the walnuts.
With the walnuts, yeah, the walnuts.
A mean Waldorf salad.
Walnuts are the only real nuts. Did you know that?
You have to break that one down for the people.
Because everything else is considered a fruit because it comes from a tree or something like that. Walnuts is the only thing that's an actual nut. But that's a whole nother story.
There you go, boy. That's you get your food lessons right here on the Lucky Lefty podcast from this dude, Lucky. I'm telling you, man. So, Left, go ahead and talk about something that you expect out of the passing game schematically, that I think that plays into schematically what you expect from all three phases in special teams as well.
Schematically, I expect us to do some run play action early, getting the quarterback in a position where he can feel more free. It's just interesting that said that he doesn't look good. He doesn't look comfortable in a clean pocket. So that's just a hard thing for me to understand as a coordinator. It's like, damn, if we block
into that, why is he? Somebody told me this, because maybe this plays into it. This is the first time that he's not even the best running back on his team.
Yeah, he's not even the best
on his team. Like, he might be the third best runner with the ball.
Yes, maybe, and that's saying that the receivers, you know, I'm including some of them receivers in there. I think are better ball carriers than the running backs. But I do think that it's like a reality check. It's like the things that you was oohing and ahhing people with is not oohing and ahhing the same way. So your role almost is like taking a step back, but taking a step forward at the same time, because taking a step back can allow you to develop your game enough to use the guys around you enough to elevate your status as a quarterback. Because as an athlete, you're not the best athlete on the team. Get over that. So you thinking you're going to make bigger plays than guys around you, the fans don't want to see that, you know. So you're not going to prove anything by having 200 yards rushing and 100 yards passing or whatever the case, because we know inherently that we have other guys we paid to see, you know, or have slated as top guys. So that's why I always say Steve was the best option, because Steve doesn't have the ego of having, I was the best player on this team. Steve just know his role. Steve's like, shoot, I know I ain't the fastest. I know I can't throw the furthest. But if I get the ball out fast, if I can make these checks and hand it off, everybody's going to make me look better. That's what Riley doesn't have about his game because he ain't been through the process of growing through that. He's been in the process of we can't do nothing without you. So now when parts of the game that he'll have to adjust to, like having a good pocket, his timing in his head isn't the same. Because your timing is all that really matters. That's why I really love the Gerald McCoy podcast when he was on the Arenas, Gilbert Arenas podcast, talking about practicing and getting about elite players not practicing, but still being elite on the field. And he was saying because you're not trying to win at practice. And a lot of guys that don't translate, you're like, how is he doing killing that practice, not killing the game? Because you're trying to win at practice against the looks that you're not going to see in the game. So he was saying you have to literally practice against what you're going to see because in the game, that's when it's going to work. It may not work in practice, but that's not the look you're getting, right? So for Riley Leonard, practicing in a clean pocket is something he's never had. So him adjusting to that, the timing's got to be better for him because now you're not, oh my God, if the first guy's open, I got to run around. Now it's like, shit, I can take my time, look downfield, and kind of go through my reads. But that comes with reps that he didn't have in the spring, that he barely had in fall camp. But he's going to grow into as the season goes on. That's why I'm like, all the armchair quarterbacks saying what he could have did better in the passing game last week, who cares? We won the game. If he doesn't adjust as we go on, yeah, that's a concern. But it's just us managing a bad recruitment at this point if we're still talking about the same things in week 4. I think you're on mute.
No, I purposely had myself on mute. My baby, my wife was making a smoothie. I told her to make me some.
That's right. Hey, I love them smoothies, man.
Lefty podcast. So Mark Biaggi, that was his thoughts. Let's get to KBA. A lot of buzz about K. So I'm glad the narrative changed, right? Because KBA, you know, the critique and criticism as a youngster, being, you know, isolated, giving up plays in the passing game against Northern Illinois. He's a dog. So I didn't expect that to, you know, stay with him. You know, I expected that to just kind of just drop off his shoulders and roll right off. So to see him come back with the same aggression that he always plays with, he wasn't in that same rotation early on in the game, right? And really in the second half, that's when he started to get into the game. So I don't know if you want to call it, I guess it was repercussions for the mistakes. Like, yo, you made these mistakes. You can't make these mistakes. Man, you're going to have to get back into the rotation. You have to show us that you have this down so we can put you back in the rotation, which I actually love. That goes to what Marcus Freeman said. We can't overlook mistakes in practice. Maybe, I'm not saying that was one of the mistakes that led to those things happening against Northern Illinois, but it seems like for the mistakes that were made, yo, these are the repercussions from those mistakes. The young man, looks like he came back, focused, refocused, recentered, and was a monster, was a dynamo defensively against Purdue. 1 interception on the day, multiple tackles in the run game. This is what he had to say about his play and how he's going to be moving forward.
Saw the ball get tipped by my boy Onye. Saw it in the air and just ran to go get it. Try to get up and score. But yeah.
And then 3 games in, what's just kind of your comfort level in the defense at this point?
Yeah, I'm starting to get more comfortable. You know, continue to learn from other guys, learn from Kai's, Jaden, Drake, Sneed. You know, going to Coach Gordon for things I can do better. But I feel confident in what we're doing right now.
And then where has Max kind of helped increase your game over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he brings a great energy to the room, and he's elevated my game as far as being violent, bringing the same energy every day, and being intentional about what I do in practice.
Kingston, this linebacker core, just how strong are you guys and deep are you all on paper? And as far as just, you know, your physical abilities, how deep are you all? The linebacker group, how deep and how physical are you all in that room? As far as talent goes.
Yeah, we got a great room full of guys who can play. From top down, we got guys who can go in there and dominate. We get each other better every day, and I'm blessed to be in that room.
Hey man, let me tell you something. That's one of those brothers. I'm not messing with him, bro.
He'll be all right. We ain't got it.
Yo, like, man, can we run the ball the other way?
Yeah.
Audible.
Yeah, he's definitely who is that? Like John Massey say, he's not a Jolly Green Giant.
No.
He's fitting the personality of what we're looking for as the mean green.
Terminator-like. Even his answers are Terminator-like.
Yeah, he ain't trying to fluff nothing. He's not fluffing nothing.
No.
It's we here. We gonna get better. I tried to score. You saw me. Made a couple plays and shit. We gonna rock out. We're gonna get better. I'm glad to be here. Like, let me cover the bases. I'm glad to be here. I'm working hard. I'm making a play, and then we're gonna learn, And that's okay. You need some guys that like we talked about. We need some guys that is kind of messed up in there.
We need some guys like that.
We need some guys that's
don't say he's messed up in the head. That's just his personality, bro. He's
messed up in the head from a sense of he ain't selling insurance.
The man said his linebacker coach is teaching him how to be violent, bro. Yeah, man. Teaching us how to be violent.
His word choice. He, messed up in the head. If violence is in the game, but you teaching how to be violent, or because some guys say we teaching technique.
Right. Somebody else might have said, man, Max Bullock is teaching us how to play harder.
I'm violent. No, yeah. So some got to be wrong up here, which is cool. We don't need everybody to say all the right things.
I love it. See, him and Sean Sevillano,
they talking the right. They talking the right way. Yes. So yeah, I think he'll be perfectly fine. I think if anything, people kind of gave him the expectation of coming in and being a Terminator, and he got to grow into it like anybody else. His curve may be a little less because he's got that intensity, and so that's what we talked about.
His expression never changed. LeVon hit him with a question, and he was just like, "I don't understand that. I don't understand what you're trying to say."
Yeah, we not. Yeah, like let's keep this.
Yeah,
let's keep this straightforward. Let's not
1-2 sentences at the most.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Because I gotta go practice. I got stuff I gotta.
He just does hooks. He can't give you 16. He's not a feature. He's not a feature on the album. He doesn't have 8 to 16 bars. He just give you the hook. That's it.
He the hook and be on the cover. You got to cover the album.
Absolutely. Say, don't even put features. Just put him in the credits. Just give him a writing credit.
He's the guy you stand next to in the music video. He give you the credit in the music video just because
like this.
Yep. And I ain't messing with the group because of him. Yeah. Oh, you rolling with him? Oh, he's certified. Okay.
You ever talk to somebody? Oh man, you ever talk to somebody? Oh, you probably. I'm petty like this, bro. So I'll be out with the missus somewhere, right? And I'm real cool, man. I'm real cool, especially in college. She would come down to U of I. Her best friend went there, so she would come down. I would walk up in the spot, and they would be, just hanging out. And I would just walk up and purposely just like stand there. Just so my presence could be felt. That's it. It didn't matter what dudes were like around. Just stand there.
I'm just here. I want the question to be like, who's that? Who's that? That's all I want. That's all. I ain't got a conversation. I just need the question to be asked. Who is that guy? Because he just making the energy in the room different. You ain't gotta say nothing. I
don't say anything, and then all of a sudden, one of her girls was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?
What's up?
Y'all good?
Yeah, straight?
Right. Just walk off. Yeah. Just walk off." Now, cat's like, "Man, what? No,
who is that, brother?" That? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You gotta do that sometimes. Have fun. Be a little petty. Be out of the party. Pull up. Just walk up. Oh, well, man, you have a nice day.
You have a nice day. Yeah,
bro. Yeah.
No smiles.
Yeah. I love it. I love Kingston, man. I absolutely love this kid, man. Everything he brings to the table makes you feel like, yep, he's one of them ones. He's definitely one of them ones. Jason Onye is getting better left. Now, see, this is the thing. I want to point this out, but Jason Onye talked about, first of all, he gave so much love to Jordan Botelho, who unfortunately had a season-ending injury against Purdue. Listen to Jason Onye talk about that.
Incredibly sad. Jordan was one of my best friends. So it's like one of the oldest guys, like one of my closest friends since I've been here. When I first got in here, back when Myron and Kurt and all those boys were here. So it's just sad seeing what happened to him, but we're motivated as ever now to play fast and like do it for him, because we know if he was on the field, he would be right there with us. So we're motivated for him, playing the rest of the season out for Jordan.
What do you say to him as he's leaving the field that day? I see you guys over there, you dapping him up and things like that. What do you say to him when he's leaving the field?
This is for you, bro. This is for you, Oos. I call him. This is for you, bro. JB, like, I don't know, we were just kind of joking around, keeping the spirits high, but I'm honestly speaking, like, every single snap I play, practice, and game, the whole deal, like, we're just playing for Jordan, because we know he would want to be there with us.
After a performance like that defensively, only giving up one touchdown, man, what's the confidence, and you guys kind of got a chance to do a redo in the second home game after what took place after A&M?
I'll kind of reframe that. In my opinion, it's more of like, why didn't we do that second week? So therefore, it's like starts to practice. So did we attack? Like, why? Like, the question is why? Why didn't that happen NIU? So therefore, we hit that in practice. We start attacking. One of our biggest goals is being +2. We start in practice, playing fast, knowing your jobs, eliminating MAs, starts in practice. So we're just trying to be consistent. That's the main thing, because as we saw last home game, anything can happen.
I'm starting to get concerned, man. Not concerned, but just it's piquing my interest. What was happening in practice, bro? What was happening in practice?
I think at this point it was more used as an excuse to feel the whole embarrassing loss at NIU, because I really don't believe anything different happened at practice, considering every day is the same thing.
So why, like Jason Onye even saying, like, yeah, after Purdue, we're like, why didn't we do this against Northern Illinois?
A little bit of it is sleepwalking. You know, you get in the sleepwalking mode when you don't have those one dudes on the team that is putting everything in perspective. You know, you get so lost into the monotonous everyday schedule, and you know, you just gliding through things. That's why I always say, who's the X factor on the team? Who's that bona fide guy that you can point out and be like, he's Notre Dame, encapsulating Notre Dame. And a lot of the reason why is that those same guys are guys that know and understand the assignment, know the mission, and is beyond a head coach. You know, because Marcus Freeman, like we talked about, he's the biggest face on the poster for the TV show. How is that possible? How are you the biggest? Like, you know, so that's an example of how we have more team than more individuals. You know what I mean? So I think that when you get lost into that, you lose that edge. And I think gaining that edge through losing at NIU kind of woke everybody up and be like, okay, let's lock in. We're not just going to walk through these 4 years and think it's going to be easy. We need to be able to pop out and be the guys that we know we are. So that's where the leaders start coming in. You notice that Jason Onye is getting better. And that's probably because he said, okay, nobody's at the top spot. Let me go take the mantle. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we're just watching this thing just go by. Like, if nobody's at the top spot, everybody's just kind of servicing at the bottom. Like, well, somebody's going to do it. And I think when we got in the NIU game, we was looking for that person to do it, and nobody stepped up. Nobody had
a great show. I'm telling you, Players Lounge. If you don't go subscribe to listen to this week's Players Lounge and what you guys talked about, that goes right at the center, the heart of what you just talked about, you have to have dudes on the team that are on the sideline or in the locker room or in the middle of the huddle, in the middle of the game, to say, wake the hell up. Like, this ain't it. I don't care what the offense is doing. I don't care what that person is doing. I don't care what that coach said. DC Curry said, yo, you have to outplay the coaching sometimes. I had never heard that. He was like, great teams outplay the coach.
Yeah, 2015, we didn't really, I'm not gonna say we didn't need a coach, but the coaching wasn't rocket science. We was running left, running right.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, some teams would call it out what we was doing. It didn't matter. Because you gotta fight through a Ronnie Stanley, a Nick Martin, a Quentin Nelson block. So yeah, you know where it's coming. And then you gotta worry about bringing CJ down. Then you gotta worry about tackling me. Then you gotta worry about, okay, we know we're getting man to man, but you got Will Fuller out there. And you know you're running man to man. So we locked you in a position of, if we throw this one-on-one, are you going to be able to cover it? And a lot of times they couldn't, because you can't have no safety help. You trying to stop the run. So we liked the position that teams gave us that they do to us all the time now in 2015, because we wish you would try to man us up on the outside. Good. You making my job easy. Now I'm just chucking it deep.
Ooh, with Breezy and Will?
Yeah, that's why I was like, teams had to play us. Teams had to play us the way they play us all the time, but you couldn't do that with me and Will and CJ, because you want to load the box, fine. We can still run it for positive yards. And then if we felt like it, if we just want to get you off our backs, we're just gonna throw the one-on-one because you're gonna give it to us. And we're gonna make the play because Will's the best and the fastest in the country at that time. So the position that teams had to play us, how they play us now, like they play against Riley and Tyler Buckner, they played against us in 15. It just didn't work because we outplayed the scheme.
So how do you attack? Because teams are giving Notre Dame, like, they're not just showing 8 in the box at the snap. Literally the majority of the time what teams are doing at the snap, they're just bringing the safety down.
Yeah.
They're just giving Riley the too high look and then just bringing the safety down, right? So now forget Riley Leonard, because right now Riley Leonard is not a multiple progression quarterback right now for whatever reason. He could get there throughout the season.
Bad recruiting, bad evaluation.
Come on, man. We're not going down that road. All I'm saying is, what is Coach Denbrock? All right, Denbrock knows that. So now does Denbrock, is that where the tight end comes into play? When you know that safety's coming down? So now it's like, okay, if you're going to do that, we're going to pop this tight end to the flat. We're going to pop this tight end because they're playing.
Well, yeah, I mean, teams are going to play you how they play you. I think if anything, you have to find what the quarterback can do. And these first 3 games, we're saying, okay, he's not a 30 attempt passes right now per game. We got to limit the certain amount of runs because we don't want him injured after the first game. So what's the alternative? What's the middle ground? Okay, well, we can do these little flats. We can show run, do a couple RPOs on the outside. Tight ends are always going to be a major part of our team, and they're good players. So that's the closest guy to the quarterback that's not the running back. So how can we get them the ball and use them in the blocking game too, just in case we do want to throw it downfield? We can lock them in, protect with more than 5 players, and start taking shots. So, it's kind of writing itself to what we can do with Riley. And I think it's just, how do we do that 100 different ways and execute the right way?
So I think as we move forward, I think we have to realize that this team, as Mike Denbrock said this week, is definitely a work in progress. Not just the offense, but I think there are some things. I think the defense, we forget this. This was a very inexperienced defense for the most part. You had some guys up front, but for the most part, the players that were going to become impactful players throughout the year, they're just getting their beaks wet.
Yeah, and a lot of that, like we talked about, is due to the fact that we're not having that guy that everybody's looking to.
Mm-hmm. You guys talked about that as well.
When we don't have a guy we're looking to, everybody's just kind of waiting around, being like, okay, who's gonna get this sack?
Will wasn't a guy. Breezy was really
Breezy was a great leader for that receiver room to activate guys around him. He could get Will activated. He can get himself activated. He knows how to integrate guys into the receiver room, make them feel comfortable, like a Torrey Hunter. He knows how to be able to communicate and step guys up when they're lacking as a position group. And he may not be the the receiver one, but he was always in the mix and he always got in the game. He had the most reps out of anybody in the receiver room. He was like the constant, right? But you know, and when it was time for him to make big plays, he made them. But because of how the team was, he knew how to get Will right when we needed that play. You know, he was a big factor in moving the team forward in tough adverse positions when we needed it. And a lot of this is who's that guy for the receiver? Is it Jaden Thomas? You know, but does he have a role big enough to kind of bring everybody around and gain that respect in the room? It's hard because who has the most respect in the receiver room? Hell, the coach just even got there. You know what I mean? So some of that has to deal with numbers. You know, it is what it is. If your numbers ain't great, it's just hard to lean on you as a guy. That's how you get guys like Jordan Faison, who can just pop in the room and make an impact that where everybody's like, that's the guy in the room. Well, Jordan Faison came in with a room with no leaders. Mm-hmm. Came in a room with no X factors. So you're just like, shit, anybody, nobody gonna take it. I'm gonna do my little thing. You know? That only happens when you don't have that continuity. You going through coaching changes. Hell, Rico Flores was receiver one. How is that even possible? Yeah, he's talented, but how is he receiver one his first year in the room? That's unacceptable. So I think once they figure that out, a lot of this stuff will start to come together better for the quarterbacks. But, you know, right now it's just even Chris Mitchell and them guys, they're looking around like, all right, who's going to make the play? Who's going to get the opportunity? Because right now I'm just doing my job. Everybody's just doing their job. But in moments of competition, adverse situations, competitive moments, you always need that force, that Michael Jordan, you know. Not everybody can be a Steve Kerr.
You used the right name there. When you said force, you used the correct name. You're learning, Left. You're learning. You stay around. Stick around, Left.
Stick around for a while.
Stick around.
Lord Jesus.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So Jason Onyé also talked about, not only moving on from practice, but playing fast and how he's gotten better.
Coach Walsh and Coach Golden challenged me after the A&M game to put better stuff on film. Sometime during that game, I hurt my hand and I didn't realize what was going on, but they just challenged me to, like, going forward, you have to train in practice, you have to go harder in practice, you have to, like, put the work in during the week so Saturdays you're confident regardless of what happens on the field. Because we all know on the field you can't control what happens, but so a confidence boost, yes. Sorry.
And then how much does comfort in the scheme allow you to play faster?
Honestly, I feel like since the spring, that's been the common theme, just like play faster, making plays, knowing my job, and just thinking play low, play fast. That's all I've been thinking about these, even in practice. Play low, play fast, know my job, simple. Just.
And you know what?
About all these good, loving, warm, welcoming, play for my brother players. It's like,
you know why? Left. Remember when Jason Onyé started buzzing?
Yeah.
Last year, and he spoke to the media. And I remember very vividly, the young man said, I'm just getting to the point where I'm feeling like I belong. So his background, from his background, his neighborhood, he's like, for a kid coming where I come from to even get interest and an offer from Notre Dame, then had this opportunity to play. Now, see, I understand what you're saying. That's a fantastic story.
It's a fantastic story. Fantastic. Right? It's a great.
But it is a longer road journey to get to impact than, say, a Kingston.
Which is why I said that was my whole thing. It's like we got guys like a bunch of Jason Onyés, and then you got a guy like KVA.
And you need both. You need both on the team.
You need both, and that's why I think
you need cats that actually appreciate what it is that Notre Dame like.
And those are your back end captains, the guy that's the locker room guy. He's been through it. He knows how to rally everybody on the emotional level. He can relate to everybody's journey because he's been through everything. That's not an X factor personality though. that's a nice compliment. That's like anything else. It's not the peanut butter and jelly, but it's the bananas that you put on it. You see what I'm saying? So the peanut butter and jelly is the KVAs, the Drake Bowens, the Allsberries, from a standpoint to where they're like, I came to Notre Dame to get somewhere and to do something. And I'm only here for 3 years. So all that fun loving, grateful for the opportunity, wore the jersey when I was 2, and this is a lifelong dream. That's a percentage of the guys, which I think was a bigger percentage in week 2 than it is now. I think guys are like, all right, let's put that fun loving stuff to the side because guys really trying to bust our heads. They ain't just gonna give us any wins because we made it this far and it's our first time and we popping on the scene. And no. Teams are really trying to come and bust your head. They don't care if they the worst or the best team. They're not fun loving. You know what I mean? Not that you can't be fun loving about your brother, but that's not going to necessarily win you again. Riley learned that second game. All that laughing and all that, G Willikers and all that stuff. You lost. Now you need to tighten up. You know, it ain't no. So I think KVA is a great personality to have in that defense because it feels like he's going to be the most consistent one in terms of like rain, snow, sleet, don't matter. We finna go out there and make these plays. Very similar to a Jeremiah Love. See, these are the glue guys, the guys that make it happen. And the more we can focus on getting to that, we got all the fun-loving dudes. We got all the good, upstanding Americans that's gonna vote, that's gonna do their taxes on time, that's gonna do their homework, that's gonna show up on. That can't be 95% of the team though. You need a 15, 20 where it's like, well, you know, we got him in here, thank God. But he also is leaving quick.
Great teams don't lie. Great teams don't lie.
They don't lie.
There should be a standard. I'm all for the standard. Where the guys that have been there say to the incoming, wait your turn.
Yeah, I wish we would have. Yes, I wish we would have more of that. Because we would have never had Riley as no captain. Would have never had no incoming dude being no starter. Yes. It would have been strictly. We know what the coaches brought in, but this is our team.
Yes,
and not having that out the gate. Now you kind of look around like we put too much trust in these foreigners. Not that we couldn't. Not that we don't need them.
You can say that.
It's
you can't control how someone responds. Yeah, because there will be dudes that say, "Okay, OG, I respect that. I'll get in line."
Yeah, we had OGs on my team.
Wait. Then you got some cats like Kingston. Like, man, I ain't wait for what? I'm coming.
Yeah.
Wait for what? Like, all right, I'm trying to play now. And see, the truth of the matter is the same dudes that say, wait your turn, when they see, like, oh, yeah, he needs to play. Because they'll eventually admit, like, oh, no, okay.
And that's that Aldridge Jeremiah Love process. Aldridge's like, yeah, I know I'm getting all the carries, but and everything's gonna dwindle if I stay around long enough, you know.
Boy's ready.
Boy's ready. It's like
ready.
It's not even. He's respecting the OG status, and the coaches navigated that situation. Dean McCullough did a great job,
right?
Because he easily could have been like, "Shoot, man, play to you."
You had love for Ed, but you thought you were ready.
It was just a timing thing. It's like I had my window. I said, "Look, bro, they giving you a lot of opportunity. I can't say nothing bad about that. But that window is the window."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's either you're going to stick in it, but it always happens naturally because when you in the window, which means you in the way of the window, things just don't go right. I mean, you were the leading turnover guy in the country.
I'm glad you said that, dude. It's so dope to be in a room or any situation in life, bro, whether it's in your family. Like, I'm the oldest, so I wish I had a big brother, bro. I don't know what that feels like.
Right.
I don't know what that feels like to look up to somebody. I've always been the one that had to be the model for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that feels like, but it has to feel absolutely amazing, regardless of whether or not you feel like I'm going to get in line or no, I'm coming. You still respect what's in front of you, and you respect the standard. Because even the guy that says I'm not waiting, he knows, like, hey, that's who I'm chasing.
Exactly.
And they're pretty good, right?
And they're pretty good.
So, I mean, for the most part, every position room has that. A guy that you can look to say, all right, that's what I'm chasing.
And there's no chasing in rooms that we have problems in. There's no room where we're chasing anything in the quarterback room. We're not chasing anything in the receiver room. We're chasing something in the DB room, but you see the effects. You see the effects of Christian Gray excited to be out there. Jay Mickey excited to be out there. Don Schuler telling you, he's like, all these guys around here.
And that impacts the youngster that could come in that position.
Yeah.
So now you see what they're chasing. It impacts the level of that
in which they come out
in preparation and how they play. So now, is it a surprise that Kennedy Urlacher comes out and plays the way he played?
No,
he's chasing X and the Don.
Pickens is done and built with the guys that are there, and those being the lead dogs. That's motivating when you can be like, oh man, I got BMO watching me perform, and he thinking that I'm sort of like him, and he's already a first round. Well, it's just a matter of what Christian Gray thinks. His dad has talked to Christian Gray and been like, hey, I think you might, got a couple things better than BMO. And you're like, for real? The first rounder? Oh, right. Sure. Okay, maybe I'm doing something right.
Right.
Maybe that gives that confidence is everything, especially when you got defensive player of the year, you got first rounder, you got a great coach with first rounders. They telling you you're doing good now, it means something.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver room, Mike Brown telling you do something good. He like, well, what does that mean? And there's no disrespect to Mike Brown, but it's like, well, who's the first round receiver in here that Mike Brown got? When Mike Mickens say good job, looking like this, the Leonard Moores or and the Christian Grays and the Carson Hobbs are like, oh, okay, I must be on the right path. Like, let me just, and that's reflective of what it's looking like. Now you don't have to worry too much about what the production is going to be because they flying around. The linebacker room, even though it's young and it's getting there and we like it a lot, who are they chasing? And we know that they'll be great, but who are they chasing? The coach that just got there? Max Bullock is excited to get a bunch of young pups. But who are the young pups chasing? Because JD's not there no more. We already know Jack Kaiser's a different era, almost. Where he's almost aged himself out of that position of chasing. They're like, okay, that's just OG. He gonna go and do his thing, and but he's not, the first round pick like the DB room where he the OG, but it's like he got that talent that's in the country. Everybody in the country like, oh, okay, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Notre Dame OG. Oh, you've been here, you seen a lot, did a lot, been through a lot. Experience, and I can gather some things from it. But in regards to how it relates to my individual journey, I'm looking to be better than that, naturally. Drake Bowen trying to go somewhere. Jaden Osbury trying to go somewhere. Jalen Snead trying to go somewhere. So, yeah, we appreciate Jack Kaiser for helping us do our jobs, but they're not looking at him as the model linebacker like a Jalen Smith, a Wosu, Manti, guys that have gotten somewhere. So I think that'll come in time, but they're amongst themselves. So they have to figure out what direction guys are going. They have a lot of faith in KVA. KVA just got there. And and I think this is what's smart about what Justin Scott always said is because of the issues that we're facing right now. Justin Scott will walk in there today and be the best player on the D-line. Now, what is he chasing? What is he playing with? What is he working with? He's working with a good group of guys, but he wants something to aspire to be a Chase Young in there and Isaiah Falsky. I think that keeps him going. So if he's going in there the best one in the room, he's like, okay, they ride as I ride, and I'm figuring out how to ride right now. So I do think that's why X factors are important, having those guys and keeping those guys there. And it'll happen eventually. Only we getting more experience with each game.
Because the time goes by. Man, I was talking to Joseph Reef kid from York who's visiting the game this weekend, and he's bringing a man. He has a teammate in 26. The kid is 6'7", 220, 230, tight end, and plays D end. It's the Panich kid. You got to watch his film, Left. This kid, 6'7". The way he moves at 6'7", I'm like, okay, he has a little Max Crosby to him. Like he might be a better prospect than Joseph Reif coming out of York. But Joseph Reif was talking about, I committed at the Ohio State game about a year ago. And now almost a year later, I'm coming back as a senior. 3 games into my senior year, he was like, I'll be in Notre Dame in a few months. He was just kind of reflecting on like, how fast things happen.
Yeah.
Right? And like, this is my last season, my last moments with my friends on the football field. And it's just like, you talk about that window at Notre Dame all the time. Like, if you're not if you're not catching the eye of coaches by your sophomore year, man, you got a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's just because the way the game is right now, it's just like it's moving fast. So it's not waiting on anybody.
Yeah.
And these programs, especially the higher up you go, is really ain't waiting on nobody. So you got to get in at that right time in that window, or there's places that you can grow into. You can go to a Tulane, you can go to a Kansas State, and you can do the route. But when you talk about the top 5, top 10 programs consistently, traditionally in college football, your Texases, your Bamas, your Michigans, your Georgias, you got to be like a Ryan Williams at Alabama. That's their expectation. Now, that's a freak of nature.
Freak.
That's a kid that it's not too many Ryan Williams in every class, hell, in every other class.
That's that dude that comes in and he hears the same thing. Ryan Williams came in. I'm almost sure the cats at Alabama were like, you need a young pup. Wait your turn. And Ryan Williams was like, I hear you. Okay.
I hear you.
But
my play's too good.
No, we get out here on this practice field. All that you talking right now means nothing.
But that's what Alabama and those type of programs with those type of kids is expected. That's why it's like the whole Jack Kaiser thing in reference to his journey, not so much of who he is as a person, but that position that doesn't last long at a program like those. You got to come in and be a top player in the country. And that's what Notre Dame is transitioning to. Like 2015, we had top players in the country, not just good players on the team. Jalen Smith was a Buckets Award winner. Q was a first guard taken. It's not just best guard on the team. You best guard in the country. That's the difference when you talk about these top programs where guys transfer and don't last long, because that window is only built for certain type of players. Carl Reed talks about all the time, if you don't fit in, you end up falling to whatever school you fall to. Maybe that was a school you was always meant to go to. Just because of how things are shaped and how things are done, it just makes it a little tougher with the expectations at certain places where your development and your journey comes in. Like some guys just be at the wrong spot. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think fit is what is always key and number one importance when you do this stuff. And when you find the right fit, you get guys like KVA and you get guys like, Quentin Nelson that just, you be like, damn, where you been? It's like, damn, we thought we was good until you came, and now we like, damn, like, where you been at,
Pat Coogan, Chicago area native, talking about, being locked in even when he lost a starting job, still being locked in, coming in Purdue, doing his job, and just moving forward.
I've always enjoyed the position. I came here 2021, and first day one I was a center. So it's been a good opportunity to learn both positions in my 4 years here. So I'm excited to get back to it. I like having the control of the offense and being able to talk to the guys and communicate. I think that's a game that's a part of the game that fits my character really well and what I do best. So I'm excited to get back out there.
And then kind of building off of that, going back to center, was like learning the checks and calls difficult for you, or is it kind of the same?
It's been the same. Since everything's kind of wrapped up in the whole, like, if you play guard, you got to know it too. So going back to center has been an easy transition, and even when I was still at guard, like, I was getting snaps and getting some indie periods at center. So it's been a really smooth transition.
Pat Coogan is starting center along with Rocco Spindler back at right guard. They end up playing next to each other. And I think what we've been talking about this morning, Pat Coogan, Rocco Spindler, to have two youngsters replace them in the starting lineup, it shows that they're those top of back end, not from a talent standpoint, but those type of locked in Notre Dame journey guys that are perfect fits for the impactful kids. Like Sam Pendleton, Anthony Knapp are impactful. These are freshmen that prove, we're ready to go, right? So now you get kids like that on the offensive side of the ball, the kids we've already talked about on the defensive side of the ball. You start to blend them with guys like Rocco Spindler and Pat Coogan that have been through the battles, been through the wars, played multiple positions, have the appreciation for the journey that exists at Notre Dame. That's how you build a winning culture, man. That's how you build a full and complete player culture in your program. And to see them locked in and to come in and keep the standard of the offensive line play where it was at Purdue, and hopefully they can continue that this Saturday against Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, we get the right words and sentiments from the O-line that we like to hear, man. Guys that understand that the challenge is not just doing one thing. It's a group effort. They got the right leaders and guys around them that can help them, develop and fall in line to the right places. I love what the O-line has as a culture, and that's something that's been built over a decade plus. So I'm not ever worried about where the growth of the O-line is going to come in, regardless of coach. I think Coach Rudolph is a great coach to help facilitate those transitions and manage those different roster changes, because all of them it almost seems like they're in sync with each other from a mentality standpoint. You don't have too many guys one off talking different than the group, which is hard to do and hard to find. But it so happens to exist at the Notre Dame offensive line group, and it shows. It shows that's a tight-knit community. The running backs talk about as a standard in the room. There's a standard in that room too. And they continue to uphold it regardless of who's in there. And that's something that's very special. That's something that Marcus Freeman will always have to continue to try to foster and nurture, because, like we said, that's the biggest reason why we've had consistent seasons the last 10, 12 years. It's because we've been able to consistently hold an offensive line culture that's way better than average, and we've recruited it way better than probably any other position on the team. That's probably the most well-recruited position at Notre Dame is offensive line the last 12 years.
Yeah, I agree with that easily. You want to talk about culture, talk about their running back culture, talking the same, Jadarian Price. Listen to this, Lefty.
D3 stands for detailed, dependable, and disciplined. You can't get a high grade in practice if you're not detailed. It starts with the detail. We're Notre Dame student athletes. We're smart enough to go out there and be, we strive for perfection. Everything's not perfect, but we strive for perfection. So when you get into the game, everything's easier. Dependable, doing it on a consistent basis, and discipline, doing when it matters the most, whether it's the fourth quarter or a tight-knit game like it was against A&M. So that shows.
How lethal is it to be able to have, a guy like Riley Leonard, in addition to that running back room, what he's able to do?
Yeah, like I said, we got a lot of home run hitters, and he surprised me, with those broken tackles. And I think there was one where he was going in the end zone. He stiff armed the guy. I was like, man, he looks like a running back. And we were joking on the bus. We were like Lamar Leonard or whatever. But yeah, it's just he's an athletic guy. We're all athletic, and we all can make explosive plays, and we'll continue to do that for the rest of the season.
Left your face.
It's just they Lamar has never been done ever. Let's just not just I hate that for Lamar, that they just toss his name around so easy. Man, I don't know. It's like why would we do that? Why? I think that's what the problem exists is. We have gassed this man to crazy levels. But there's never been a game Lamar's had close to what Riley Leonard's ever done. So let's just put that in perspective. Riley Leonard has never, ever had a game close to what Lamar can do. But I do think that is good.
I need my running backs to say, whoo, man, he looks like Peyton Leonard. That's what I need. That Lamar Leonard stuff. No, I need my running back standing back there picking up.
Don't even say Lamar Leonard because Lamar threw touchdown. He threw for 3,500 yards in both seasons. What are we talking about?
I need my running backs to pick up a blitz and to say, man, whoo, that throw. That's a Peyton Leonard throw.
No, say Brandon Weeden. Say Brandon Weeden Leonard. He's a Brandon Weeden Leonard.
Hey, you see, there you go.
Brandon Weeden was a first rounder. I'm giving respect. I'll try to, but he's not no Lamar. Let's get that name needs to be.
Well, they were speaking from a running standpoint, but they're still.
No, I'm saying I'm not gonna say Peyton either. I'm gonna say Brandon Weeden. He's a Brandon Weeden, not no damn.
I just don't need my running backs talking about their quarterback with the same skill set that they have. You taking reps from me. That's what they should say. I don't want my quarterback taking reps from me. I love JP. I love JP saying they're all home run hitters in the running back room. I love that.
Yeah, they are.
Love that attitude. Same mentality. You talked about the running back room culture. Definitely. They had Aldrick to look up to and chase. Now you have Kedrick. You have Kedron, Aeneas looking up to JP and looking up to Jeremiah. And I'm sure, shortly after that, Justin Thurman and those other guys coming in the 25 and 26 class will be looking up to Aeneas and also Kedron. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. JP said
I keep hearing that Lamar thing going around because he ain't the first one to say that. And I'm like, come on, dog.
No, Marcus Freeman didn't say that though. Marcus Freeman
been real about it. I'm talking about the players.
Marcus Freeman was like, nah, relax,
dude.
GTP questions super chat before we get to our special guest. Sean Massey said, did you answer this question? Your favorite? You said you had to get back and get your new spot.
The last one I remember that I thought was really good was Angels, but that's like on the outskirts of South Bend.
Maybe our special guest can talk about some good spots in South Bend.
That's right. The soul food and
what was our barbecue spot? I forget.
Frankie's.
Yes. Frankie's had some good chicken wings too.
But now they doing this whole established franchise thing. They got the Pop Bellies out there and the Jersey Mikes and the Five Guys. I want some more hole in the wall places to kind of spruce up the South Bend feel because right now it's real commercial at Notre Dame. It's real commercial. Get your Panera breads. We don't need more Panera breads. We need more original breakfast house. That kind of stuff.
D-Month, Mr. Food Lover. The breakfast spots are downtown though. They have some good breakfast spots downtown.
They got some. They do.
Which freshman defensive player will get the Ben Morrison Breakout Freshman Award?
Probably Leonard Moore, right?
No, KVA probably right now.
KVA is getting a lot of love though. Not that he isn't deserving of it, but they was
okay. Who's made right now? KVA's made plays. Kennedy Urlacher's made plays.
I would say Kenny Urlacher's had a bigger splash.
Bryce Young, because of the injury to Jordan Botelho, is definitely about to get.
He's going to be in. Yeah, he's going to be activated.
I think KVA would probably be the.
Hell, Drake Bowen is making plays. Him and Ed Osbury, those guys are making plays, and Drake Bowen is making more consistent. I mean, Drake Bowen's on it.
Yeah.
Drake Bowen is on it from a communication. He may not wow you, but he gonna make a tackle.
If you're including red shirts, I can agree with you there. John Massey, Malik, do you ever cosplay as another quarterback like Rayola from Mahomes? Go a line.
I did with Vic. I had my Vic undershirt that I wore in the game. I had my Vic everything, man. I was a huge Michael Vick fan. Never really cosplayed, but use it as a huge motivating factor, you know.
Let me tell you something, man. I couldn't stand Mike Vick. I don't know why I left until he got to the NFL. He was villainous to me, right? No, I'm just really, you know how you know somebody is that dope. I knew he was. I'm like, yo, this dude is dope. Like, I need somebody to stop him. It was like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like when he got.
That's how I felt about Johnny Manziel and Baker.
And to be honest,
like, man, somebody
proved
this man is not good.
That year, I was a huge Peter Ward fan.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
I was a huge Peter Ward fan, and I knew the collision was coming.
Yeah,
I knew the collision was coming in the national championship game.
Yep.
So for me, it was like, and so early on, you remember that championship game? Early on, Florida State was dominating,
and Mike Vick just started turning up on them boys.
He just activated, and I was like,
and they couldn't do nothing. It's crazy how he can make a switch in the game, and you like, whoa, he said you can't do nothing with me now.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
So you may have got me a little bit, but now I'm finna turn up. Now y'all about to see the difference between the two.
What is that? Because I definitely would get to our special guest. Like, what is that switch from a mental perspective that certain players have? I
felt like I had it for a minute. It's just something that you like, man. At the end of the day, you start you know how when you figure out what they're doing,
yeah,
and you're like, okay, this is the best that they can do is that shot right there, and it don't get no better than that. Oh, it's over with, because I ain't even gotten to the bag yet. You know, a lot of it you ain't dipping to that bag yet. They ain't hit you with their best shot early on, and you like, that's all y'all. Okay, I can manage that.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna adjust my game, and now it's over with. So it's only when you are tuned in and tapped into your team, tapped into the opponent, tapped into the environment where you can do that.
Yeah.
Where you can just flip a switch and be like, okay, y'all ain't doing nothing with me.
It's amazing. It's almost like Fast and the Furious fans know about hitting that nitro at the right time.
The right time.
Yeah, I know when to hit that nitro.
When come in and come back in the movie, you're like, man, where you been at?
Super chat from John Massey. We appreciate you, brother, for tapping in. Riley Leonard is Eric Crouch. You're being disrespectful, John. Hey, well, Eric Crouch is a champion, so I mean,
that's what I'm saying. We trying to give.
Did Crouch win the Heisman?
I
don't think so. I know Tommy won the Heisman. Tommy Frazier won the Heisman. I don't think Crouch won the Heisman. Did he? I don't know, Left. Go ahead. Special guest. Introduce our special guest. We have our predictions coming up right after we have the special guest join the show. Lucky Lefty podcast. Left, take it away.
Oh, we're doing the commercial.
You know what? We can do it when we come back. I already know you're used to me. I got you, Left.
I thought that was good outro.
My bad. Hey, you already know we spend a different. We come back, special guests, and we get the game predictions. Put them in the thread. Game prediction, leading receiver to get your free T-shirt. Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know what. What do we do, Left?
Spin it different. What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag, because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. The ONORA boys in the building. Malik'S, ZAIRE, SHAUN Davis. It's a great Friday, man. Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio. They invade Notre Dame Stadium 2:30 p.m. Central Time. Take on the Fighting Irish. Get up with it. Audio edibles, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Daily, patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, Lucky Legends Podcast, players only podcast, former Notre Dame players each and every week. $5 a month for your subscription. Go get in. It's where the players play. TikTok, Instagram, and also Twitter X, Lucky Lefty Pod. Subscribe on YouTube, Lucky Lefty Network. Hit the like button, share, and then leave your comments and questions because we respond to all. We are the home of the misguided passion, and we are forever committed to making sure that we do what, Left?
Spin it different.
Yeah. So, Left, we have a special guest coming to the show, so you could take it away.
Our special guest today is a sophomore from Notre Dame named J.D. Regis, or John David Regis. He's a sophomore that works in film and television, similar to what I did. He has a podcast talking about mental health, and especially regarding to athletes. He has a lot of ties to athletics in his family from his dad being a soccer champion, but also working on NDTV as a replay operator for various sports teams. He's heavily involved in the mental aspect of the game. He has a Regis Reflections on YouTube. Check it out. He's going to talk to us about the mental health aspect of a student athlete, one maybe particularly at Notre Dame, but also just in general, and how much that weighs in to an athlete's performance. So JD Regis coming to the Lucky Lefty Podcast. We're connecting on campus with the alumni, with the old heads, with everybody included, just to show that this is an all-encompassing community at the Lucky Lefty Podcast. JD, what's up, baby? How you doing?
What's up? How we doing, fellas?
Well, I'm good, man. Pleasure to meet you, JD.
To meet you too. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, man. So let's get right to it, because at the end of the last segment, we were talking about mental health, and we were talking about the component that is a switch, as most people relate to when it comes to sports and athletes, guys that have that extra gear, that nitro, that switch that they can hit and kind of rise to the occasion. But also I want to talk about a young man like a Jordan Patello, who has been through multiple injuries, finally gets healthy, has a solid season, is looking forward to his fifth year being his breakout year. He was the best defensive lineman to start the season for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and then to have a season-ending injury. Like, what type of mental challenges, even though the team is surrounding him and showing him love? We saw Jason Anye showing love in that presser. What's facing him for the rest of this year, after suffering an injury like that in his final season?
I'll say, honestly, the first thing that he's facing is, I say, a lot of regret and disappointment. I know, like Notre Dame, we know we have a very good young defense. I honestly say probably the best secondary, one of the top defenses in the country.
That's right.
And unfortunately, after our loss against Northern Illinois, they were kind of down a little bit in a sense. And we kind of came back against Purdue and everything like that. But having that season in the injury, you feel very disappointed in a sense. Like, you're asking God, why me? In the end of the day, like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening all of a sudden? Everything like that. And to go along with that, you go through social media aspect, through the social media, your name's being bashed, you're getting talked about a lot. Then you have the fans and everything like that. And a lot of people still don't realize after the football game, they're still a student too at the University of Notre Dame. So you still have to go to class. You still have to walk around campus, and people give you these walks, these stares, everything like that. And they really don't know what's going through mentally. Like, you have a season-ending injury when you thought all was going to be well. So I really feel like he's going through just a sense of disappointment, in a sense, regret, questioning. But at the end of the day, I honestly see it as God did it for a reason. He did it. He made this happen for a reason. I pray and hopefully pray that he gets out of this. But yeah, that's pretty much.
And what do you think is when you're going through these moments and you realize Notre Dame is a short while and a good while, what are the tools, like where do you pull from to develop those mental skills to get through adversity? Because, Notre Dame's a place of achievement. You didn't get there by accident. You got there by being successful up to a point. And now you're there, you face adversity. Where do you pull from to get that kind of mental stability?
Also, the first thing you pull from is obviously your coaches, Marcus Freeman. I'm glad we have a brother up there. We have a brother up there representing. So regardless of his position, he's still a brother. He still understands. So I think leaning on the coaches first off, but also leaning on your teammates. They're beyond your teammates. They're your brothers at the end of the day. You all fight in the trenches day in and day out. Like you said, example, Jason Anye posting, Sam making sure he's okay and everything like that. You kind of lean on your teammates, your brothers, and the coaches. But outside of the football team, honestly, Notre Dame football team, they kind of have a therapist as well where you can kind of go to and talk to in a sense. But other than that, the sad reality is they really don't have really anyone else to go to because as a student on Notre Dame's campus, I hear and see, we view student athletes as the top of the top. Like they think life is amazing. They have no issues. Nothing is going wrong. Like life is perfect, but they don't know like there's so much behind that, from waking up 5 a.m. lifts. You have class until 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then practice, then homework. It's just a repeat on cycle and everything like that. So really just depending on your teammates, your coaches, everything like that. And honestly, just praying to God at the end of the day. That's what kind of gets you out of that hole and gets you out of that adversity. And I honestly learn kind of really just speaking out instead of holding it in, because holding in all that adversity, it bites you and eats you apart day in and day out. But instead of letting it out, and that could be talking to someone, that could be doing a run, that could be journaling or writing, in any sense, that's a different way you can do to handle that adversity.
JD, I definitely have heard and had conversations with multiple former players, and they talked about going through injuries and feeling a sense of loneliness. Like we hear next man up. That's what you hear in sports. Next man up, right? Yeah. Like we love you, but man, we're moving forward. We still have a goal ahead of us as a team. And so you feel left behind, you feel a sense of loneliness, rehab. You were used to working out with the players, lifting with the teammates, and now you're working out with the trainers each and every morning, right? Trying to rehab and get back healthy. How does one try to overcome that loneliness that Jordan Botelho might be feeling right now, or someone else? I think Notre Dame has close to 14 players that are out for this. No, 10 players that are out for the year right now with shoulder or knee injuries that are rehabbing. So just
do we all get together and have a group talks?
Like, there has to be a great sense of, I'm happy on game day because I'm at the game, I'm on the sideline with the fellas, but then during the week, it's like I'm not involved with practice. I'm with these doctors. I'm going through the pain of the rehab, the physical pain of the rehab. The mental. Left, you told me, like you would get through one session and immediately your mind would go to, man, I got to go through this all over again tomorrow.
Yeah, like you almost get isolated in that. Yeah, because you're not at practice, you're not at meetings, you're stuck on that table, and then you're looking around being like, man, it's. And I don't know if it's stronger for guys, but it's just something about that being all in and then getting taken out so fast, and now you're looking around like, where did I come here? Like now you start realizing school's hard. I got to study hard. I mean, it's cold. I didn't even notice it was this cold. Like, everything starts to become more dramatic. And I don't know if that's something that is is there any way to curb that? I mean, shoot, that's something that you got to experience full on.
Honestly, there's no way to get around it at the end of the day. The first person you could best lean on is God, the man above. Like I said, he did it for a reason. And similar when you were talking about how it's different guys versus girls, like I interviewed a volleyball athlete. Her name was Bella. She tore her ACL. And I remember seeing her on campus and everything like that. She was just smiling in the wheelchair, like going about her day, like life is all good, versus guys, like it kind of hits harder for them. I've seen like they just all sad and it's just the end of the world no matter what. But no matter what you do, like you can't do anything because it's not going to speed up the process. It's not going to do anything. But I think to handle that adversity and that pressure, you really have to find yourself within. You have to find that passion for your sport and have to trust this is a process and this is going to happen. And honestly, you can even look at professional sports, and there's been the multiple players in NFL, broken legs, broken arms. They've done so many things and rehab and everything like that. And all you have to have is patience. Patience is one of the fruit of the spirits. You have to have patience and be calm and just trust the process at the end of the day, because no matter what, you're not going to be able to speed the process up. It's not going to slow down, anything like that. You just got to handle it day by day, because if not, you don't want to worsen injure yourself at the end of the day. Because regardless of the student athlete, you're still a human being regardless of the sport is gone, you still have a purpose here in life. I think you have to find your purpose during that time, and also just more or less be a great teammate in a sense. Boost up your teammates, be on the sideline, cheering them, helping out any way possible. Because, it's like that even in the professional leagues, NBA, NFL, you get injured, like, yeah, they have better people, but it's still next man up. And you're just on the sideline, everything like that, and you can't do anything. So instead, you just have to find yourself, take patience, and just get better day in and day out. But instead, I will also recommend talking to somebody too, because when you're lonely, it's going to be lonely. Like, you're away from your family won't be able to sometimes come up and see you, everything like that. The coaches are busy in season. You're just there with the trainers and everything like that. So during that time period, you really have to truly authenticate and find your true self, and then that love for that sport. And you just have to give it all day in and day out. And then sooner or later, you'll be back to playing.
If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things, boy. Hey, he's about to pull me out my bag, love. Hey, JD, I'm trying to be professional, boy. I'm about to go to the first mic, baby. I'm about to pull that first mic out right here. Lucky Lefty podcast. JD joins us right here. I love it, man. Hey, I tell you, the young people, they get me excited when I hear them quote scripture and speaking the word, boy. And
that's right. That's right. Activates.
Hey, that activates me, bro. I get excited about that. Once again, JD Regis joins us right here at Southmore for Notre Dame, right now on the Lucky Lefty podcast. How are things going for you? Where, if a scale of 1 to
talk
10,
about the YouTube channel. You got the
that as well. But see, I always like to ask this: scale of 1 to 10, where are you mentally?
Yeah, where are you mentally at Notre Dame?
Honestly, the scale of 1, honestly, right now, I'm a 10 because I'm not at Notre Dame. I'm in Paris right now studying abroad.
Oh, yeah, that's 10.
Yeah, I'm in Paris right now studying abroad. So really, life is really good and I'm kind of feeling a sense of loneliness right now because I'm one of 3 students here studying from University of Notre Dame in Paris, because the Paris program is very uncommon. You have to have a French requirement and go through all these things. So I'm pretty much here by myself, and it gets lonely a lot. But I've kind of learned that God is doing this for a reason, and I'm kind of finding myself and finding my purpose. And I'm finding the purpose of exploring a big city, trying something new, going about navigating everything like that. So life, my mental is 10 out of 10 right now. Life is like, I can't complain at all. But on campus Notre Dame, so last November, I started the podcast, Regis Reflections, because I was kind of going through it mentally myself at school, because we all know that Notre Dame is a very wealthy school. A lot of wealthy people go there, and during that time period, sophomore year, they say it's their hardest year at Notre Dame, and that's very much true.
That's what I'm saying. You in the stretch. This is
I was in the stretch. So when I was going through, I'm looking at all my classmates, everything like that. Like, they're getting internships, they're getting full-time job offers, making $100K like right after college and everything like that. And I'm a film television major, so it's kind of harder in a sense to gather internships on ESPN and everything like that. And I kind of fell into the comparison, and they say comparison is a thief of joy, and that is so true, because I was comparing myself a lot to the Mendoza people, getting internships, getting job offers, everything like that. And I was really just like, I lost myself in a sense. I felt like I really didn't belong at Notre Dame. I didn't go to class for about 2 or 3 weeks. I was just in the bed to myself up until really the day my grandmother called. I love my grandmother so much. Grandmothers always have my heart. She called me. She told me really just, pray, talk about it. And, it's going to happen for a reason. It takes time, and the process is going to be hard. So I got out of bed. I did a little quick workout. I meditated, did a little writing. And I had that Holy Spirit filled in me. And one of my friends recommended starting a podcast. I was like, that's interesting. So I wanted to think about doing a podcast something differently. And I think it was like a Saturday night after college football. I was scrolling on Instagram. I'll look on the comments and everything like that. And I'm looking like there are millions, thousands of people just bashing college athletes over nonsense, over the littlest thing. Missed field goal, drop pass, missed shot, flag, all of this. You're bashing this. And I'm like, wow, like no one really kind of thinks about the athletes and anything like that. Like athletes, we see them, the athletic side, but people don't know that there's a person behind that. There's still a human being. Even though like God gifted them with such talents, they're still a human being. There shouldn't be no reason you're wishing death upon an 18 and 19-year-old just because they dropped the pass. Like they're still teenagers. We're still young adults. They're figuring out life and everything like that. So I went ahead and started it December and everything like that. And I just published my 20th episode last week. Basketball player. I have a variety of athletes, even outside of Notre Dame. I got athletes from Jackson State. I'm from Atlanta, so I got some boys down from Georgia Tech as well, everything like that. And really the motto is really just to put the motto out there. It's okay to not be okay, to really give the people the story about their mental health journey and how they got into the sport, because I feel that the person on the other screen viewing that, if you see like athletes kind of speaking out, being bold enough to speak out, and maybe even your favorite athlete speaking out, they may give you boost and confirmation to really open up in a sense. Because unfortunately, mental health is a topic that's not talked about a lot in our community, especially in the African American community. So many people, young people especially, lose their lives due to mental health. And I feel like a lot of people cry for help and everything like that, but we ignore them so much. And I feel like, especially as men in this generation, men are hide their emotions. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to, be this and this like that. And men can't cry and everything like that. I think that's BS at the end of the day. Jesus wept, it's all that and everything like that. I feel like if you're not okay, you should be able to tell someone or do something to really like get that out in a sense. So 20 episodes published so far. We're still going. We're still cooking at the end of the day. Got about a year and a half left in Notre Dame, really. Film, television major, SMAC minor. I'm doing NDTV a little bit, doing a little sports thing. I do the Observer as well in Notre Dame, but the goal is to really carry the podcast even outside of Notre Dame. I want to take it to professional athletes as well, because we look at professional athletes, for example, if we got a guy like Ben Simmons, someone who's gone through it mentally, everything like that, or even, for example, Bryce Young. He just got benched, #1 pick in the draft, play for Bama, everything like that, Panthers and everything like that. I was looking at his interview. Yes, he was, talking straight, but I can tell that he was kind of going through it mentally in a sense. You're the #1 pick in the draft. You're in a bad situation, and now you're benched in a sense. So I want to take it to the next level and have the podcast to professional athletes while continuing to pursue a career for ESPN. I tell people I want to take Stephen A. Smith's job. I'm coming for his job at the end of the day. I want to be a sports analyst, talk sports, argue, because his time is done. He can't be on it no more. His time is done. But yeah.
So I'm very interested in, getting your understanding on this. I feel like there are two storms that are in everyone's life. Those that are forecasted and those that are sudden. Right? I don't want, I was about to jump behind the pulpit for a second. Let me keep it professional. You have storms that are on your path. Mm-hmm. Right? If there is a storm in Northwest Indiana and I know I have to go drive to South Bend, that was forecasted. Like either I drive through or I allow the storm to dictate when I arrive, how I arrive, all of that. Right?
Right.
But then you have storms that you can literally be on your way and all of a sudden out of nowhere, man, Tom Skilling or meteorologist didn't say anything about this. And like all of us experience both situations in life, like situations like, man, where did that come from? I didn't expect this. And then situations just going through the process of being a normal student at Notre Dame, where it's tough, it's rigorous, right? You trying to find your way, not feeling like you belong and having to find yourself in the midst of that and the encouragement that you got from your family, your grandmother in particular. And then some of the things we pointed out with athletes like a Jordan Botelho, like, you forecast to suffer and go through things and work hard and have to fight your way to the top of the depth chart, but you don't expect the multiple injuries along the way that add to that, path that was already rigorous. Mm-hmm. So in dealing with both, how would you choose? Is there a different response to both? Is there a different response that you have for something that is forecasted and something that you have that is all of a sudden like, bam? Because you have to feel like those are two totally different storms, but they might have some similarities in response that can help. Mm-hmm. But then for a lot of people, they don't recover from the sudden change and sudden shift in life that comes upon them.
Regardless, the storm is going to happen regardless at any time in your life, any day. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a battle. Life is not easy. Every day you got to get up, you got to buckle up and strap, because it's always going to be something. Regardless of flat tire, train breaking down, injuries, like anything, it's going to be something regardless. The best way, honestly, to kind of navigate through that storm, you have to push through. You have to push through, but you have to push through with God on your back. That's number one. You have to have God on your back, because God, like I said, I go back to this point every time, but he does everything for a reason. He's having this storm in front of you to maybe so you can get closer to him, but also to build you up, to build you stronger. Having these injuries, having all this, like, yes, it's going to hurt and you're going to hate it, but it's going to make you stronger in a sense at the end of the day. So when you're kind of going through this storm, honestly, you have to block out the noise and you just have to focus and keep pushing through and never really give up. I have the mentality of head down, eyes up. Stay focused on your path. It's a straight path. Yes, there's going to be obstacles and everything like that, but you have to continue day in and day out and not give out. Because if you do, then honestly, you just let the devil win at the end of the day. You let him win at the end of the day. But if you have God on your back and you have faith and you push through, you can get through any storm at the end of the day.
I tell people all the time, the forecasted storm, come on, man. Like if you're caught knowing that it's forecasted and you don't have your umbrella, then you're not preparing. You're not preparing because, like you said, storms are coming. Storms are coming. So you have to build yourself up on your most holy. I told you, boy, I'll get in that pulpit. Hey, I'll stir up.
When I was a preacher, I'm already knowing.
I'll stir up the gift in a second, man. I don't need much. But no, in all seriousness, man, we encourage people all the time, especially on this show, to always chase their best. And whatever resources you have around you, you know, whether it be faith, God, family, professional resources, use what you have to use to make sure you're at your best. And that's what we want everybody to be each and every day of their life, to be at their best. Chase after that, pursue greatness. And as Left says, greatness requires you to do it over and over and over again. And that's what we want for everyone. We definitely want the best for our special guest, JD Regis. And while we're right here, we might as well just make them part of our prediction section. Go ahead and put your game predictions in. Miami of Ohio against Notre Dame, 2:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Notre Dame Stadium. Chuck Martin, former Notre Dame assistant, brings his 2023 MAC champions into Notre Dame Stadium. And they're winless on the season, right? Close games going into the third quarter. They just couldn't seal the deal. JD, we're going to start with you. How do you see this game playing out? Do you see a continuation of the blowout, the demolishing of Purdue last week, or do you think the Irish are going to have a fight on their hands?
I'm going to say this. I believe that Notre Dame is going to win. We're going to win. It's going to be a blowout, but it's going to depend, I want to say, on three things. Three things. Number one, I'm going to say Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard is the biggest factor. I look at Riley Leonard, 6'4", tall, big quarterback. He has to be smart, make smart decisions. When I was looking at that Northern Illinois game, there's interceptions and the double coverage, everything like that. You have to be smart as a quarterback, really. Make smarter decisions. And like I said, he's 6'4". You can use those legs. He's really a tight end playing quarterback. Use those legs at the end to extend those plays, everything like that. Because unfortunately, our receiving core is not the top of the top, but we have a great offensive lineman, great offensive coach, great coach. So I think Riley Leonard has to make the right play calls. Secondly, I'm going to say the continuation of Jeremiah Love and our running back duo. Running back duo has to continue to shine. I have faith and I have no doubt that they will continue to eat. Our offensive line is so good that they create spaces. They allow the guys to eat. I think the key to the game is really going to be the run game, punishing the defense, making them tired. Do this, I feel, making them tired and everything like that, getting down into the red zone and then feeding Mitchell Evans. Big target, big catch radius, everything like that. And then thirdly, I would say the defense. Our defense is good, strong, and promising to stay consistent. Really just kind of penalties, make sure, since play for an injury. Since Jordan Patel, he was injured, play for him. Play for like he was out there on the field. But I think Notre Dame, I'll say the score, I'm going to be bold. I would say 45-7. 45-7.
Ooh.
I think it'll be a blowout. I don't think Notre Dame's not another home game loss. Notre Dame fans, we can't handle that. They're not going to let that happen.
It was funny because someone said this jokingly, and they asked me, they sent this to me on Twitter. They were like, man, do you think Coach Freeman is going soft when he faces another brother on the sideline? And I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. Coach Huff is the head coach for Marshall. Coach Hammock is the coach for Northern Illinois. Coach David Shaw was the coach for Stanford. I was like, man, maybe Coach Freeman is trying to help out the resumes for his brothers, the Black Coaches Association, right? I was like, yo, I never looked at it like that. But no, I agree with you. I do think offensively, I think defensively, I see the same type of dominant performance that we saw at Purdue. I really do. The offensive carryover, Miami, Ohio, this is a championship team. even though they've started off winless, I think when they get into the MAC schedule, they're still going to be one of the top teams challenging for that MAC championship. So mentally, this is a senior laden team. They did lose a lot. And I know they lost a lot from leadership, but the players that are playing have played a lot of games, right? So they weren't necessarily the star players, but they have a lot of in-game experience. So I don't think this is a team, talking about mental, I don't think you're going to be able to break this team. Purdue was broken halfway through the first quarter last week.
Yeah,
like, they were just broken. It's like, okay, they're done. I don't think it's going to be like that with Chuck Martin and his Red Hawks. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher to break them. I do think being winless, there is a breaking point where you get to in a game, you're like, here we go again. You know, so I think it's going to bear watching whether or not they can play clean football. If they turn the ball over, definitely they can become a domino effect or a snowball effect. But I see Notre Dame definitely, because we have this thing now that if Notre Dame scores 35 points, we give away 5 free T-shirts to fans. And we did that jokingly last week because Notre Dame's offense had been struggling. So we're like, yo, if Notre Dame scores 35 points, which we don't think they will, we'll give away 5 free T-shirts next week. And then they put 66 on the board. We're like, oh, wow.
That happened.
Right? So we're like, yo, maybe we need to make that request made known to God again on this Friday to see if Notre Dame can follow up with another offensive explosion. But I agree with you. I think single digits, 6 or 7 points. I have Notre Dame in the 30s this game because I don't think they get off to as great as a start as they did. 42 points at halftime is absolutely bananas.
When I saw, I was wondering where that energy was the last game.
That's bananas. So I don't see that. I don't see 42 points at halftime. I do see like maybe 24 and then them adding 14 in the second half to get to 38. Because by that time, I think they're going to be on Steve Angeli and the backup quarterbacks going into the second half.
I think that Notre Dame shouldn't underestimate Miami, Ohio going into this game. Thinking it's an easy game. You know, they're not in the, Big Ten, ACC. They shouldn't underestimate them because the second they underestimate them is the second it flips and it switches. We have to go in with that dog mentality and like ready to kill this team because the second you they have a little breathing room, it's like that and it's just flip.
Talking about that dog mentality in your mind, because we talked about this a little bit. I don't know if you've been listening to the show earlier, but we're talking about the perfect blend of a locker room and a culture. You have guys that are dogs, the moniker that we give, top players or guys that play at an elite level. And then you have guys that are great locker room coaches that understand everything about the program and represent everything about the program on and off the field, right? And you get that perfect mesh of the locker room. Jason Anye, someone we played video today, and he was talking about just finally, feeling like he's that impact guy consistently over and over again. And I pointed back to something he said in April of 2023 when he just stood before the people and said, man, I can't believe a kid like me is at Notre Dame. So it made me think about what you said in your journey. Here's a guy that's on scholarship on the football team. And on and off the field, he's doing himself like it's bad enough I have to prove myself on the football field, but like a kid that comes from the neighborhood that I come from, like I'm a student at Notre Dame.
Exactly.
And so now he's trying to find his footing in 2 different areas. And that had to be challenging, man. Just forget trying to climb the depth chart. And just for him to speak about that and how that impacted him being inconsistent on the football field. He's trying to find his footing just as a person and a student and that carryover. And now it seems like he's found his place and his comfort level in both areas. And now you're starting to see his play take off consistently. So to hear that, but you have that in the locker room, and then you have a guy like Kingston as a freshman, he comes in, he's like, yo, I'm a dude. Like, I know I'm a dude. I'm coming for your stage. Jack Kaiser, man, you're a great dude. But hey, I'm coming for your spot. It's like you say you're coming from Stephen A's spot. Here's a true freshman saying, I'm coming for your spot. So the blend of those type of personalities and different journeys in the locker room, I think is actually a blessing to be around. I think Notre Dame's culture athletically all around is really one of the most blessed cultures for young people to come into, to really establish them and make them whole for a fruitful life once they leave college. And I think they really understand that once they get to a certain point on that journey.
I agree. And I feel like in the locker room too, everyone has to have a role in a sense to have a good locker room. You have your vocal leaders, the people that are going to speak, yell, get in your face, but also the people in the background in a sense. Everyone kind of has to play their role in a sense. And I feel like if everyone plays their role, then the locker room is thriving. But kind of going back to that dog mentality, like regardless, athlete or not, you have to have a dog mentality in life because, not everyone's going to get a free handout. Not everyone's going to pick you up off the ground. Like you have to fight for anything that you want. And regarding to athletics, like as a freshman, you have to come in there. You can't be scared. Like you're a Division I collegiate athlete. You're at the University of Notre Dame. Like the fans exceed beyond outside of South Bend, outside of America, like even across the ocean to Ireland. So you have to have that dog mentality because it sets you up to know that you can't be like taken advantage of. You're not gonna be used and anything like that. Because even when you go to the professional leagues, the NFL and the NBA, stuff like that, like you have teammates, everything like that. They're your best friends. Like y'all go out partying, they'll come over, everything like that. And next day they'll like moss you, they'll take your position, everything like that. It's just business at the end of the day. And it's like it's preparing you for the professional league. Because in the end of the day, the NFL, NBA, MLB, it's a business league at the end of the day. These GMs, these coaches, like they just want to win. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to take the best player. It's not if you're more nice and you're better looking. No, who's going to give more effort, who's going to be the dog, who's going to put the trenches in practice and give it all you got. So you have to have that dog mentality. And even regarding to outside of athletics, going to the academic side of Notre Dame, like the African-American community at Notre Dame is very small already. So you're going to stick out already as an African-American. A good portion of the African-Americans on campus are athletes. So that it cancels out. So as an African-American, you already have to work 10 times more hard than anyone else. Yes, Notre Dame, they have its advantages, its name, everything like that. But you're going to have to work and put in the effort 10 times more and have that dog mentality to be the best, to be better than anyone else. At the end of the day, you have to be a competitor. You have to compete at the end of the day. And I even have that dog mentality. I'm not an athlete, but I'm still a student. And I have that dog mentality of when, like I have my own podcast. I know other people on campus that have podcasts. I'm striving to have the best podcast on campus. I have to be better than them. In my classes, I went into Notre Dame in high school. I was the smartest kid in my class. I come to Notre Dame, I'm not the smartest kid in my class. I felt very uncomfortable at first, but then I learned. Let me learn from them. So I sit back, I watch how they move, I watch how they work, take notes and everything like that, so that I can boom, shoot right up and take and be the top of the top. I have that dog mentality in every aspect because you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's still business. You don't want that other person to take your dreams, take your goals, everything like that. So instead, you got to eat and just dog them out at the end of the day.
So give me your thoughts on the first two episodes. This is of the docu-series. Give me your thoughts on the first two series. I think, in my personal opinion, we have been strongly on the side of indie media since we started the broadcast or the podcast, shall I say, and we wanted more. We're like, yo, give us more. Like the brand needs to be seen. It needs to be exposed, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they did a good, job. I was kind of the scheduling of it. Like the first two episodes and then waiting towards the end of the regular season to drop everything else. I was like, okay, this could say a lot. Maybe they really feel like they have something, a special season that's going to be leading to the playoffs. So we'll play off the playoffs, the majority, instead of going ahead and doing it like every other week throughout the season. I'm glad they skipped that Northern Illinois week right now. Like, we didn't need to see that. We definitely need to see that. You can cut that out of the third episode when we get to December. So, but no, in all seriousness, being in media, what are your thoughts about, how Notre Dame media has gone and taken strides to further expose the brand, sports, and just the athletes and what they do, not just on the field, but off the field as well? And do you see that continuing for Notre Dame fans to partake of?
Honestly, I actually like the concept of the show actually, because I feel that it gives the student population, even the fans, just that other side, the other aspect that leads up to the season, leads up to this big games and practices and everything like that. And honestly, I love how they did the scheduling of the first 2 games and then kind of the ending, because I feel like honestly, if you have the cameras and media every single game, players kind of get caught up in a sense. And I don't want to kind of hate, but like Colorado in a sense, how they have, with Coach Prime, like, they have cameras, they have rappers, everything in the locker room. And yes, they're winning and losing, but still players can kind of get caught up in that and they could end up losing focus. Like, no, you're here specifically for football. Like, we're here to play a game, not to be on the media, to look good and everything like that. But I honestly think I love how just the show shows how the student athletes, practices outside of that and kind of shows their character in a sense. And honestly, I really hope and pray that they continue to do this in the future, because I know even the football program is going to continue to get better, with the quarterbacks, with the freshmen, the defense getting better. I hope they really continue just to continue showing what it really takes and what is really behind the scenes, so a lot of people can understand in a sense. And honestly, I want them to show losses too, to show how the team handles loss, how the practices are handled, everything like that, and just continuing to do the scheduling the same, because I don't want the players to get too caught up in the media in a sense, because you lose focus. And the second you lose focus, you could lose a season just like that.
I think the greatest response we saw, talking about a team responding, they were not letting up off Purdue. Like from top down, like Marcus Freeman wasn't letting up. Like if he had another minute, I think he would have allowed CJ Carr to pass the ball and score a touchdown. So it's just like, as a team, Purdue just happened to be like, yo, you just happen to be that team the week after we.
Just that after that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, hey, you got to take this. And I feel bad for Ryan Walters, another, brother in the Black Coach Association. But yeah, he took one on the chin. He took one on the chin, but I love their response. Hopefully now we can see the consistency.
Exactly.
Right? I think under Marcus Freeman, they have shown the ability to overcome tough losses. They overcame Marshall, responded well, right? Ended up with a big win against Clemson. They responded to the loss of Ohio State, didn't play as well, but were able to finish against Duke. So they've been able to show that they can respond to tough losses and tough situations. Now, can they handle success? Can they be great? Can they be great over and over again? Because let me tell you something, man. Even the great teams, we just watched Georgia. They didn't play their best against Kentucky last week, but they found a way to win because they're dogs, they're winners. That's what it's all about. Even when you're not at your best, can you find a way to overcome and get that W? That's the true test for Notre Dame under Marcus Freeman. That's that next step. Like when you don't play well, can you still get that W? That's something I think Brian Kelly teams were still able to do. Even when they didn't play well, they were able to get those W's, especially against lesser teams. So Notre Dame's going to have that opportunity this week. They have a big one they do. They have revenge. So I don't think they have a problem with Louisville. Because revenge, dude, they're waiting for Louisville.
I think especially since the game is at home, like they went because last year I remember that game vividly. Ohio State. It was the final play. Everyone ready to rush the field, and boom, 10 players on the field in the end zone. We lost. We still had hope though, still being ranked. But then that loss to Louisville right at the week right after, that team morale just went down. And I think now we have a lot of the same guys that were on the team last year that are on the team this year that played against Louisville. They're coming for blood. And with it being a home game, I think that is going to be a true smackdown, beatdown, for real. I think Notre Dame is going to come out and haunt for actual blood against Louisville.
Yeah.
And especially having them at home is not going to let out.
That's going to be that game like, yo, where was this at against Northern Illinois? Like this attitude. Like
and
keep
honestly,
this.
I think I say this every time I watch Notre Dame game. The thing that's holding Notre Dame back from true success is joining a conference. It's joining the conference. If I'm being honest, it's joining the conference because we look at these other teams, USC and joining the Big Ten and the competition now that they're facing, everything like that. While yes, they may lose, it still betters the team and still prepares you in a sense. I think Notre Dame was holding us back is being independent and kind of choosing and picking our own opponents. I think joining the Big Ten or just joining any of the conference and playing these ranked teams, that will help better not only the team morale, it will make the team stronger, we'll get better practice at the end of the day, and it will challenge Marcus Freeman. And we could really see the true colors of Notre Dame. Because you think about it, last season, Ohio State and Duke maybe one of the only few games that you really saw the true potential. This season, Unfortunately, Florida State isn't that. They're not doing good. So they're going to probably change that game. So you don't really have any true competition deep, like a Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Michigan, those type of teams to really see your success. So I think that's the one factor that's holding them back. And I try and vouch every day for Notre Dame to join a conference.
See, that's an interesting concept because we recently played Urban Meyer on the Triple Option podcast when he was talking about his time as an assistant coach at Notre Dame. And he asked the AD, why is this schedule so ridiculous? Like Notre Dame back then, they had the academies, but then they, Michigan, US, they would play Michigan game 1. Like, we playing number 5 Michigan out the gate. We're playing USC number 3 at the end of the year. We're playing Miami or Florida State in the middle of the year, right? This is when Michigan State with George Perlis was good, so we're playing Michigan State as well. So it was like there were no breathers per se.
Yeah.
Like, so you're talking about that consistent competition. And then when Brian Kelly came, he complained about the schedule being so deep and said, we need to add some of these MAC schools and lessen the schedule. Of course, that was going into the initial playoffs of the 4 teams. And he was like, we're not part of a conference. So it's a greater need for us to go undefeated. So we need to make this schedule a little lighter. So I agree with you. I think the schedule has gotten lighter. I think some of the former Notre Dame players have even talked about that and said, we don't see the same intensity. You just pointed it out. Yeah, you're not facing the same schedule. The schedule will Louisville, they're automatically going to be up for Louisville. Like, you don't have to tell them. You don't have to. Marcus Freeman doesn't have to say anything. Walking off that field last year, that's all the motivation they need. They've been thinking about Louisville all offseason.
That's the game.
They've been waiting for this game. They were probably thinking about Louisville right after Texas A&M. They were like, okay, now let's get ready for Louisville. Not thinking like, we still have to play this game on the field next week against Northern Illinois. That's interesting what you brought up because we talked about that. And that schedule, now with the expanded playoff left, you can jump in.
I had to talk to HR about my own team. Isn't that crazy? God.
Of course, Left, because you can't, Left, I don't know. I have to come watch you, bro. I might have to be your quality control coach.
Oh my gosh, I'm over here arguing with HR.
You kind of rough. You kind of rough on the youngsters, Left. You coach hard. You coach like Mike Denbrock, bro. I'm gonna have to fly out there and be your QC for a little bit.
You're gonna have to, because
be the liaison between you and HR, bro. I
gotta get a representative. I gotta get a representative. This is crazy. Okay, anyway.
But no, we were talking about what we talked about with Urban Meyer talking about, and then you guys talked about it on Players Only this week over on Patreon. They were like, these guys, they play soft because they don't have the same hard schedule. Yeah, they have these games where they feel like we could take a week off. And it's like right now, Tennessee, like they beat North Carolina State, but now they got to go to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then they got Alabama in 2 weeks. And then in between that, by the way, we got to go to Kentucky.
Who
just almost beat Georgia. And so, man, JD was just saying, like, the schedule dictates you don't have to fall off in preparation.
Yeah, right? and I think that's just a natural thing for guys. You buy in and you drink the Kool-Aid of, okay, this is an easy win. You start reading the Vegas numbers. We supposed to be plus 28. We finna, and I think, and that's where numbers and football are two different things. Because football is anybody can win on any day, on a motivation. All it takes is a motivation, where the numbers are going to play out through analytics and all the different AI type of calculations, but football in its purest form is a motivated energy type of game. So if you go out there with more energy like NIU did and show up when we didn't, you're gonna see a different result. So this scheduling is a challenge for us mentally because we have to be bigger than what we're playing. We can't play to whoever level of competition we're against. We have to be able to say this is Notre Dame, a top 5 program. We're supposed to dominate. And then we see what we get to in the playoffs, as opposed to a Tennessee or Alabama or Florida, where negatively they can look at it like, man, there's no way we getting out of this alive. There's no way we beating the Georgia, Alabama in 2 week span, and then bounce back with a Tennessee in a 4 week span. So it's one of those things to where it's just as challenging, even though the challenge may be different from an easier or softer schedule.
Because I look at it like Notre Dame, you play these easy schools, Miami, Northern Illinois, and everything like that. You have this easy schedule. You get into the playoffs, and then you play Bama. Then it's like for example, when we played Bama national championship, or even the year when they had like Najee Harris, Devontae.
It was not a team that we could have played against in 2012 that could have got us ready.
Exactly, but the schedule being independent and playing such easy school instead of playing like a Michigan or Ohio State and being in the conference, having those games, we have this easy schedule. You think you're all that, then boom, you're in the playoffs, Bama, Georgia, Texas. Then you get 40 ball. Then everyone looks and say Notre Dame didn't belong. But then you look at the schedule, you have all these easy schedules. Maybe the hardest game, USC, maybe Ohio State. Like we're looking at this year, Florida State is not even a hard game. Florida State's out the option. The only left game is really Louisville for real. That's the only game. That game they've circled. They probably, like we was talking about, they were thinking about that game before probably even Texas A&M. Losing last year after Ohio State, especially after losing Ohio State, 10 players on the field, having them run in like that, they were thinking about Louisville the entire season.
Yeah, I agree. Left, we got to get your prediction, bro, so we can get to the rest of the weekend.
Let's do it.
No, we gave ours. I gave a 38-7.
Okay, I got us in the 56 range.
Yeah, 45-7. JD said 45-7.
I'm going 56-17. I do believe and have respect.
You gonna disrespect the defense like that?
Well, I have respect for Coach Martin. I think Coach Martin,
you're showing love to your coach. Okay.
Yeah, that's my guy. So I don't think he's gonna go out without striking something, And they got a kicker that can kick everything successfully. I mean, he's a great kicker. I see him in person. If anything, he's gonna get the points, and I think Coach Martin's gonna play it smart. He's gonna have some things. Pat Welsh, shout out to Pat Welsh, one of my other favorite coaches over there at Miami that used to be at Notre Dame, and so out of respect to them, I'll give them 17. I don't know how they're gonna get it. If Coach Martin gonna score on 17, then that's one thing. But
see, last week I said Notre Dame would score 24 in my prediction, and you asked me to tell you the 20. Give me the 3 touchdowns. You had me literally give you the 3 touchdowns.
This is based off of all faith. This is all faith in Coach Martin. Plus, I think NIU scored 17 like it was nothing. So
16, 16 against
16. And I think Miami is better than NIU. So
hey, relax. There you go with that Ohio, Illinois stuff, bro. Stop.
Well, NIU was floating at the bottom of the conference last year.
No, middle of the conference. Stop.
Well, Miami won the conference last year, so I'm still thinking that they're a better team.
Don't do that. Right now, Northern Illinois and Miami, Ohio play. You already know what it is. Don't start that. You start with that Ohio stuff.
Yeah,
come on, man.
But I do got to.
I can't say we. The state of Illinois beat Notre Dame. That's all I'm saying. The state of Illinois has a victory. The state of Illinois has a victory over Notre Dame. I don't know about Ohio this year, but I know the state of Illinois has it.
Crazy.
Hey, so let's get to it. We start tonight. Big games of the weekend. Yeah, I got one for you. He can do all the Patrick Mahomes cosplay he wants. My boys are coming tonight, Left. My boys invading Lincoln tonight, Left. We're coming.
It's tonight.
It's tonight, baby.
How much disrespect on high school football,
24, man. Number 24, Illinois, baby. We're coming.
Too much.
We can do all of that jumping up and down, 15, all of that stuff. You're a freshman. We're going to show you a freshman tonight.
Oh, okay. That's what y'all going to do.
This ain't Colorado. We're coming. This is real Big Ten football coming.
So this is not a game about followers, because the last game, Nebraska, Colorado's game about followers. What's his game going to be about? Because I feel like Illinois,
the trenches, baby. What you mean? It's Brett Bielema. Come on now. It's Brett Bielema. We're gonna run the ball.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fantastic show. I think that because it's at Nebraska, that may give them a slight 10-point advantage.
Come on, dude. That's disrespectful. 10.
Only because. How much faith do you have in your quarterback in a situation like Nebraska? Nebraska's not a
line is 6.5, by the way. The line is 6. Oh, they definitely had a better quarterback. I've been secretly trying to get Steve Angeli to transfer to Illinois for the past 2 years, bro.
The environment is what I'm worried about for Illinois, because Nebraska, when they're good,
we just went up there 2 years ago and smacked them.
They wasn't good 2 years ago.
It's different now.
Make a difference.
Whoa.
It's the same way it's the same way Notre Dame treats USC. It doesn't matter where we play. We're gonna smack y'all. You know how it is.
Nebraska's one of the few
once
teams
you have
in
a
the
team's
country.
number.
It's one of the few teams in the country where the fan base does make an effect on the game.
Man, y'all buying this 15 hype, bro.
No, it's real. It's
I'm
real.
buying the Nebraska hype. They are real diehard fans.
Okay.
Like they,
right. Until you go in there and smack them in the mouth.
I got a 21-30 victory. 21-31 Nebraska.
All right, I'm gonna let you ride.
It's gonna be a low scoring game, so I only got
don't let the dude. Let me tell you something. Don't let us pull it off. Don't let us pull it off. Boy, I'm gonna let you
what
have
you got
it.
the score as?
I'm gonna let you have it. Oh, we definitely 28-20.
Okay.
It's gonna be a late game. It's gonna be a late game. Late game stop turnover. Oh, absolutely. I didn't say we were going in there and just run. If it was the same team from 2 years ago, I'd just definitely be like, we're running over them.
We run over.
I got Devin Witherspoon and all of those dudes.
Devin Witherspoon's nice.
Yeah, we're wrecking them. But no, this year they still have a good defensive line. But it's Brett Bielema. They're gonna be good in the trenches. That's my boy Malik'S, the wide receiver course coming along. Lou Altmaier's not turning the ball over. He can make plays with his legs as well.
Wisconsin?
No, transfer from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss. So, senior quarterback going to what JD said, your quarterback has to protect the ball. If he protects the ball, we're going to be in the game.
Yes, I do.
We're going to be in the game. We protect the ball, we're going to be right there in the fourth.
Those two suckers up front from Nebraska are not.
They're some monsters.
They're not
monsters. Yeah, NFL scouts are going to like the defensive players on both sides. JD, who do you have in this game?
I'm going to take Nebraska. I'm going to say the same score as you, but I'm going to flip it. I'm going to say 28-20. I think Nebraska's defense, I think Illinois is going to throw a pick. I really feel so. And I don't think Illinois' defensive line is going to get past them big boys from Nebraska, honestly.
Them big boys are big, man.
They got some big boys. I don't think they get past them.
Let's get to the Saturday schedule, the Ken Gibbs special. We're going to have to talk to our boy. We might have to talk him off the ledge this week on Three's Company left when we have him on. North Carolina State and Clemson. At Clemson, North Carolina State, man, they're trying to get back on track. How do you see this one? I don't believe in Cade Klubnik at all. I don't care what anybody says, but the North Carolina State quarterback situation is just as bad as they go to the true freshman as their starter. How do you see it?
North Carolina Clemson, man.
Gotta be a low scoring game.
North Carolina State hasn't been scoring no points, man.
Well,
so
they're definitely going to water down the game plan with this true freshman quarterback. He can hurt you with his legs.
I think that if he's anything like Texas A&M's quarterback that they put in, then it might be.
He could pose a problem.
And they haven't seen him. So add all these factors in. I'll have it closer. I got a 24-21 Clemson, and only giving them it to Clemson because of
Death Valley. Oh, not because of Death Valley?
Death Valley what's Death Valley these days?
Not no more.
Death Valley.
Both of y'all waved off. They like, dude, the rock doesn't mean anything. All that running down the hill. Nah.
That stopped when Lamar played Deshaun and Death Valley. That was the last time I ever thought about that environment
Deshaun won, though.
I know, but I'm saying that's the last time I ever thought of that environment being a factor in a game. Other than that, I'm taking
multiple teams have walked in there and won games now.
So so I'm saying the credit to Dabo having a little bit more experience, a little bit more with Cade. I really think that they can pull it off. Now it's going to be a close game because there's no pull away factor for Clemson. They have nothing to pull away with. All their games going to be we won by the skin of our teeth. So 24-21, I got Clemson.
Okay, JD.
I got 17-10 Clemson. Low scoring game. Death Valley, not talking about anything anymore ever since Trevor Lawrence left. Low scoring game, 17-10. That's it.
USC, Michigan, baby. Rose Bowl rivals. Now conference rivals at the big house. Though the pageantry is off the charts for this.
Wait, is it in Michigan?
It's at Michigan.
Ooh,
yeah. Okay. The Cali boys have to come to the cold, baby. It's a little rainy and windy this weekend.
I think it's a bad matchup for USC because at the end of the day, they've never had.
You going against your boy Miller Moss?
They've never had the defense to sustain anything great. They have a quality offense, But Michigan's defense is solid. Will Johnson is going to be on Zachariah Branch. We know that Michigan's D line is stout still. It's still good enough to keep it low scoring. And then I think all things included, the big house and the environment, they haven't played in a while in that condition. This is not South Bend. So I do think Michigan has all the ulterior things going for them. But, I don't trust anything Lincoln Riley has with defense, regardless of who they get and how good they try to be.
And Tony Lynn he's yo. I saw them tackle for the first time in the game.
Now they played better, but Michigan still. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna that offensive line at Michigan is just gonna be tough fourth quarter for USC defense that hasn't been tested in that way, and Michigan's not gonna change who they are. So till they can bring down Blake Corum enough, I got Michigan winning.
Blake Corum's in the NFL. What you talking about?
I'm sorry, not Blake. Edwards. Sorry, Edwards.
Yeah.
What's Brian Edwards? Yeah.
Dylan Edwards.
Donovan Edwards.
Donovan Edwards. Yeah. So I think that combo right there is going to be the saving grace for Michigan in this game. I got Michigan winning another low scoring game, 28. What am I giving SC? All right, let me change it. Let's go 28 USC, 34 Michigan.
Michigan's not scoring 34 points.
I think it's going to have to be something like that.
Not with their quarterbacks, no left.
I think Miller Moss.
I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance to recalibrate, bro.
I think Miller Moss is gonna throw some picks that's gonna give Michigan some easy field position.
Okay.
And that's gonna increase.
And this must be like a Penn State type game where they run the ball 40 consecutive times and run the ball for like 200
if they do that, then you're right. I just don't see, but I also don't see USC scoring less than 17. So I'm giving both benefit of the doubt.
JD?
I'm gonna go flip the script. I'm going USC. USC got me with against LSU. They put up a fight. LSU got a good defense. And Lincoln Riley, unfortunately, defense is not his strong suit, but Lincoln Riley offense, that's an offense you can't beat. Michigan, they have fallen off since last year. JJ McCarthy, head coach gone, Blake Corum, but they still have Donovan Edwards. Defense, I'll say sustainable. Conditions are a fact. I'm gonna take USC 28, Michigan 17.
It's my sleeper game that impacts next week. Listen to me. My sleeper game that impacts next week. Georgia Tech at Louisville. Georgia Tech had a 3-point. Georgia Tech can very well be undefeated going to this game. You saw what they did to Florida State, how physical they were. Very physical team, love to run the ball. They put up points. Louisville can't be looking ahead to Notre Dame. They can't. Louisville better bring at least their B game against Georgia Tech in this matchup. This could be a very sneaky game for the Louisville Cardinals. And then what they give this week, do they have enough next week against Notre Dame? This 2-week stretch for Louisville, based upon what Georgia Tech has proven to be, could be very challenging for the Cardinals. How do you guys see this matchup?
Well, I got a Louisville team that's still slightly above average for me. I think they're in a really good matchup with a Georgia Tech team that's on the rise in a lot of aspects. They got transfers, they got a quarterback that's playing better. So I got that game actually high scoring but close. I got it 38-34 going to Louisville.
Yeah, I want them to come in undefeated.
I want them to come in
undefeated. Yeah. Come on in the South Bend undefeated.
But I think Georgia Tech's going to take a chunk of flesh that we need, and it's almost the reverse of the emotions from Louisville hyping themselves up in our game last year to now they got to find the energy from an emotional game that they had the week before coming in and playing us at Notre Dame. So I think it's going to set Notre Dame up very nicely for a nice slam dunk with an undefeated team coming in there. But we still got to be able to manage that. But I think Louisville has more of the challenge than we do. So I got them winning this one, but losing the week after.
Louisville, above average team, pretty good. Georgia Tech got a young, promising defense, hungry defense. I love the offense, their running backs. I'm slightly biased because I do have a couple of dogs on the Georgia Tech's defense. So I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech this game, 35-28. I think Louisville's gonna lose. They're gonna go into Notre Dame, and that losing streak is gonna continue. The smackdown's gonna continue. They're gonna try and see some light, but with Notre Dame with last year, they're just gonna punish them. I think it's gonna be another version of Purdue.
Left, the emotional aspect you pointed to, that emotional win, emotional loss, and then the highly emotional win at Duke, and then ask Notre Dame to get back up to face Louisville. That was a lot. That was a lot in consecutive weeks, and now Louisville is going to have to do that with Georgia Tech going into Notre Dame. We'll see how it plays out. We go out to the prairies, dude. We go out to the plains. The Vols and Josh Heupel and your boy Nico and that $8 million of NIL, baby, face his first true road test in the SEC. The Vols face off against Jackson Arnold, your other favorite quarterback, Left. I say that jokingly. And the Oklahoma Sooners. How do you see this one playing out? Tennessee going up against the Oklahoma Sooners.
I think Tennessee in this environment will be fine, considering I think they have the better overall team. Josh Heupel is a really good coach, in my opinion. I think he's working on the basis of his program and not transfers this year, whereas Brent Venables is having a harder time recruiting in Oklahoma, considering where it's at and how things have transformed in the SEC and what's that staying power at Oklahoma. They don't have the same things going on like it was easier to recruit back in the early 90s. So I do think that Tennessee is more of an up-and-coming program that's trying to make a national push, a playoff push. And Oklahoma is I think, hanging on more laurels and will be tested more in this SEC schedule than in the Big 12. So I got Tennessee handling business. Nico is not, in my opinion, a freshman out there. I think he's had enough time and experience to grow into his role, to be able to be not affected as much by that crowd and the away game and all of that. Plus, he's 6'7". I still can't get over that. He's a big dude.
He grew an inch at Tennessee. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's huge. So I think the challenge for Oklahoma is greater than what the challenge for Tennessee is. And I got Tennessee winning in favorable fashion. I got them scoring in the 40s, and then Oklahoma scoring. I got it 40-42 Tennessee. Oklahoma, I got 24. I think this is a decisive win and a program, a nice quality program win for a Tennessee team that I think is going to make it challenging for some of these teams we revere in the SEC, especially getting closer to the playoffs.
I'm right with you on that one. I think Tennessee's offense, I think Nico, him just being 6'7", and he just looks very comfortable and behind the pocket, scrambling, throwing dots. I got to beat down 42-28. These.
Oh, man. You giving 28 points to Jackson Arnold. Hey, let me tell you something. I think the key factor in this game, Left, we talked about it. Tennessee's so much better on the defensive line this year.
They are.
So much better. Josh Heupel is all, and I'm going to watch. I love watching the mind of Venables against Heupel. That's going to be really, really nice to watch as well.
Yeah.
The adjustments they make, how they attack one another. Heupel is so good with his clean sheet Left. His first 10 to 15 plays, he's
that first script is good.
His first script is so good. So when Brent Venables adjusts and what he adjusts to, I'm looking forward to see how the youngster at quarterback and how Josh Heupel kind of adjusts, makes those adjustments, and makes him comfortable. Because I feel like Oklahoma is going to come after the youngster.
Yeah.
I think Brent is going to come after him, try to make him uncomfortable. And if they can handle that, of course, you want to be able to run the ball. So if they're able to do that and protect the youngster, they're definitely going to be able to do some damage offensively. But I think it's going to be the Tennessee defense that's really going to show itself in this game. I think they're going to be the ones that rattle Jackson Arnold a little bit and get a couple of turnovers. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Presented by ONORA Whiskey. ONORAWhiskey.com before we get out of here left. All right, look, let me go ahead. Hey, Father God, I'm going to need 200 passing yards this week.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm going to need another 2 sacks this week. And to finish it off, I'm going to put on the altar that our offensive players and our quarterbacks all get to play once again.
Yeah,
heading into the Louisville game.
That should be, yeah.
That's the Lucky Lefty prayer list for this week. All right, that's prayer list right there. Thumbs up, thumbs down. 250 total rushing yards. Thumbs up, thumbs down, Lefty.
Oh, thumbs up.
Okay.
Should have more than that.
Yeah. JD, thumbs up, thumbs down. 250 total rushing yards for Notre Dame.
Oh, rushing yards. Oh yeah, Jeremiah Love, complete dog. Thumbs up.
All right. Notre Dame defense left. They finally got 2 sacks. We've been begging. That was on the prayer list last week. It happened. Won't he do it? 2 sacks left.
2 sacks.
Notre Dame continues to collect sacks. 2 sacks for the Notre Dame defense this week. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
If we can get 2 again, I thumbs up. I think that's a standard. We playing a team that's not as good as the week before, in my opinion. So we should have equal to or better than numbers. So we should have 2 sacks at least.
Okay. JD, thumbs up, thumbs down on the defense collecting 2 sacks.
I'm gonna put thumbs up. I think we can get 2 sacks. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Line.
Okay. Wide receiver, receiving yards. A Notre Dame wide receiver will have over 50 yards received. So the bar's low. The bar's low. The bar's low. We have to. I have to make it fair. The bar's low.
Yeah, please. It's an automatic thumbs up because I want it to happen. I need it. I need that to be the case. I need us to prove that we can be better than these low hanging fruit.
The fact that we're sitting here asking for 50, bro, is crazy.
That's
crazy. This is crazy. Man, I can't believe this, man. We're sitting here asking for 50 yards from a receiver, bro. 50. Remember that last week we said 30. We said it's ridiculous that we're sitting on the show asking for 30 points from a Notre Dame offense. We got 66. So maybe this week we might end up with 100 yards based on
one play you can get 50 yards. You know what I'm saying? One play you can get 50 yards. So let's just
you could.
They
could have had one play to Jeremiah Love, who was waving his hands, of 40 plus yards last week. But I digress. Back to it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Left, you said thumbs up just because you want it to happen.
It has to.
JD just
I'm gonna say no. And I think honestly, I don't trust Riley Leonard as a quarterback yet. He hasn't proven his trust in me yet. After last game, when he threw those pick double coverage, I don't think so. I think and I know we need to depend on our run game. But if we get Mitchell Evans involved, then yes, the 50 yards can be possible. But I'm gonna stand on the no.
Notre Dame will have a special teams touchdown this week.
They should. That's a thumbs up.
Thumbs down. You got a thumbs up? Okay. They were close on like 3 punt blocks last week.
Yeah, we put Marty Biaggi in the interview process in the press conference asking questions. So he must got something for us this week. And I think at the end of the day, all 3 phases should be able to score this week. So see what we should do.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. You agree? Thumbs up. Last but not least, and this might be petty on my part. Okay. Steve Angeli will have more passing touchdowns than Riley Leonard. Thumbs up or thumbs down.
But in the season?
No, in the game on Saturday.
Oh man.
Oh, thumbs up.
That's such a crazy thing to bet on.
Thumbs up. I don't think I've yet to see Riley Leonard throw a touchdown yet. I think
Steve threw 2. So even if we play in the long game, Riley got to catch up, and that's crazy. So I'm going to say thumbs up because we're going to be scoring enough to get Steve in the game by 3rd quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And if Steve's allowed to play, he's going to naturally get some touchdowns in. 1, because we're beating the hell out of the team. And 2, that's just part of his game. I don't see him running around to get touchdowns to outscore Riley on that aspect. But he can throw it to some open guys in the second half of the game when his aim's over. So equal to or better than, I got thumbs up.
Man, once again, we thank sophomore Notre Dame student JD Regis for joining us once again. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media and where they can check you out on your YouTube channel.
Regis Reflections. Y'all tap in. Episode every week. Different athletes all over the world. Thank y'all fellas for having me on. I appreciate it. Good conversation. Great football.
That's
Man,
right.
look,
Irish, man.
Look, I'm excited about this weekend. If you need to get caught up with the Players Only podcast and Lucky Legends podcast and everything we have over at our Patreon, that's patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation. And then whether it's TikTok, Twitter, X, or Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pop, subscribe and share on YouTube and make sure you hit the thumbs up for us. And look, let me tell you something, man. You know, we're all about vibes, bro. We've had a lot of guests on our shows, right? JD was supposed to be on here 15 to 20 minutes. I think it's been over an hour, easily.
Over an hour,
easy. You know, he just feels like family, love. He just feels like crew already. He feels like little bro already.
You got family in Paris, and you know what they say about people in Paris like us.
Yo, are you eating right, bro? Because I know the pickings can be slim when you go across the waters. You eating okay?
Yeah, I'm eating okay. I'm up here in Paris. I've been cooking a little food, but when I get back to South Bend now, I got to shake my ass. I ain't got that many good food spots. Because, I'm from the South. So, I like that barbecue, them ribs, mac and cheese, all that. South Bend, they can't give me that, unfortunately. So
you can't even scour DoorDash over there and find anything like that, huh?
Nope, nothing.
Man.
It's tough.
Man, that's tough. Did you hear the show? Because I was just giving a review. I took my wife to the soul food spot yesterday. And I had the fried chicken skins as an appetizer. But then I had like a pot roast with jalapeno cheese grits. Yeah. See, dude, he's over there now. Like, we
Paris ain't got nothing like that.
No, not in Paris. Now I will say I'm a huge croissant fan. I'm a huge bakery and croissant man. You talk about some fresh bread on the daily.
Ooh, man.
Left. All right, now you can poke your lip out all you want to, bro. No,
he don't know.
You don't know, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You just spoke. Hey, you like charcuterie boards?
Oh, yes.
Paris is like, hey, that's top notch over there, Left.
I already know. I've been eating good.
Left is so disrespectful, JD. I'm trying to get him to be nice.
I mean, bread and cheese is cool. I just
as far as international affairs, I would never send Left to represent me anywhere. Because he's gonna be disrespectful. Like, dude, y'all don't have it. I'm sorry, y'all just don't have it. But no,
your stay would probably be short over there if you went to Paris, Sean. You in 2 weeks?
I went in high school
for 2 weeks.
Exchange. Yeah, we were there for 2 weeks. Foreign exchange. I hosted. And then I went.
You went? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a Paris fan, bro. I took French. I love the culture. I wouldn't stay over there long term or anything like that, but 2 weeks is about enough.
That's the limit, though.
Yeah, 2 weeks is about enough. But
but
no, I can adjust to the culture, because I'm a huge man. I would have to run every morning because my carb diet would go up.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy over there. My carbs are definitely multiplied over in Paris, bro. Because I'd be getting like a loaf every day, croissants for breakfast.
Ooh,
cheese.
Right as soon as they open.
As soon as they open, I'm telling you, I would already know. But other than that, what is their main go to? The breads and stuff? Because they don't have like.
It's really just bread and cheese. A lot of bread and cheese, and then they just drink wine. They don't eat like. Real food for real.
No, they don't.
But this is what y'all like to do? I see.
Like I told you, my mother had to force my exchange student to take a bath, bro. Because that's not a daily thing for them.
No, it's very nice.
In their culture. It's not. And she was like, yo, I don't know how you do it there, but in my house, you're gonna get in this bathtub, bro.
Well, hey, we still teaching them. All right.
You so stupid, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. We out of here. You about to go left real quick. No pun intended, actually. You're about to go left real quick. And we thank JD Regis. Would you join us again, man?
Oh, of
Would you
course,
join
of course.
us
Let me know
again
when.
soon?
Let me know.
Oh man,
Yeah, we might make him a part of the prediction show.
That's right.
Yeah,
See,
make
I
him
like
part
how
of
he's
the
thinking
prediction.
already. I like how he's
Yeah,
thinking already.
yeah. Make him part of the prediction
Yeah,
show.
I'm
man.
down. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Let's do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
So, hey, fans, Regis Reflections, subscribe on YouTube right now. As soon as we're done with the show, go support this young man. He is Notre Dame through and through, and he's doing great things. And he's going to be in the ESPN network coming soon, very soon. Hey, I love that. You know, I just retired from ESPN, so that's another connect for me.
There you go.
That's another connect for me. So
That's
I'm gonna be praying for you, JD. I'm gonna be praying for you. I'm standing in the gap for you, brother.
Thank you.
And always, anything you ever need from us, man, we're here. All right, JD Regis, Left. Enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll be back with you on the post-game wrap-up Sunday right here on the Lucky Lefty podcast. Be blessed. Have a great weekend. But Left, as always, people have to make sure they do what?
Spin it different.